I'm Eric Reeser. Other than Jose Ramirez, a bright spot for the Guardians over the last decade's been their pitching staff. Parker Messick and Cade Smith got to peacock last night in baseball's All-Star game. Both Cleveland Arms tossed scoreless innings to help the American League toss a 15-strikeout, 4-0 shutout of the National League. Yankees outfielder Cody Bellinger drew first blood with a 2-run single in the first. Bellinger was named All-Star Game MVP for his efforts. Baseball's regular season resumes Friday for the Guardians and Reds. Cleveland hosts Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's at Colorado. Final spot in Sunday's World Cup final was claimed yesterday at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Spain shut out France 2-0. They'll head to MetLife Stadium to face the winner of today's England-Argentina semi. Kickoff from Atlanta is 3 o'clock today. Loser gets France Saturday in the third-place game in Miami. This update is sponsored by Vermeer Heartland. Vermeer Heartland opens on Columbus August 3rd. Get the Vermeer equipment you trust. Genuine parts, expert service. Visit VermeerHL.com.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. 10 o'clock, we move Hey Guys up an hour because of 20 Most Interesting. So get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas. We'll answer those at 10 o'clock as opposed to the customary 11. Coming up at 10:30, we hit you with a little higher lower. Coming up at 11 o'clock, 20 Most Interesting, the Oklahoma Sooners. John Hoover from Sports Illustrated on the Sooners is going to join us coming up at 11:30 to preview Boomer Sooner heading into this season. One of my all-time favorite shows was The Wire on HBO. I use this quote quite a bit, but I wanted to get it exactly right. It's in season 3, I believe, when the corruption hits City Hall, and you're trying to figure out just exactly how far it goes, and they have a special task force that's put together, and one of the guys in it is Detective Lester Freeman, and it kind of gets exposed that they're way beyond drug dealers at this point. Like, this goes all the way up. And Freeman has this great quote where he goes, "You follow drugs, you get the drug addicts and drug dealers, but you follow the money and you don't know what the blank it's going to take you." If you follow the football in college athletics, if you follow the men's basketball in college athletics, if you follow the corruption in college athletics, and this is a blanket statement, this isn't about we're talking about here, you don't know what the heck you're going to get. Because what ends up happening in these cases is something happens at a lower level typically, and the cover-up just continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes along. And I think sometimes folks are surprised at the lengths with which people you would otherwise consider incredibly competent and incredibly smart would do to cover up wrongdoing. And this case at the University of Michigan, my God, is it one of these examples. There's a lot of layers to this thing. There is no question that for a period of time when Ward Manuel was there, when Jim Harbaugh was there, Dusty May, I'm not going to put too much stink on him. He was only there a couple of years. But even Juwan Howard, that the Michigan program was the most corrupt program in college athletics, and it doesn't appear to me to be very close. The findings on some of this more stuff with Ward Manuel, the athletic director, how much Ward knew when he knew, the allegations in this $11 million investigation that Michigan paid for from this law firm of Jenner and Block, some of the conclusions in this are absolutely stupefying. The fact that at one point the woman who was involved with Sharon Moore tells Moore, she texted Moore that Harbaugh helped me get into the head person there about an abortion clinic that was going on there at that was involved in. Now, who knew what Harbaugh knew? I'm sure, who knew the interaction, because at one point she says, "Don't worry, he doesn't know everything and won't. He just knows I'm not well." There's even more in terms of this, in terms of the Spygate stuff with Harbaugh and the former president, Santa Ono. and what he knew about that and this idea of keeping that quiet, it has been an absolute unveiling of corruption, the likes of which I could say we've never seen before, but we have. We have seen this before. They are just the latest to go to these lengths to try to keep the dirty little secrets behind closed doors. But you would think that they would all learn that eventually all of this stuff comes out. Eventually it all does. That there is no foolproof way to keep this stuff sealed anymore. And a really powerful man told me once, if you want to keep a secret, tell nobody. And it's pretty dang good advice. If it really is important enough to be a secret, tell nobody. Amanda Kristovich, who we have on the show all the time, she reached out to the University of Michigan, got a statement. UM does not plan to release anything this week related to the athletics investigation of Ward Manuel. Remains our athletic director. We have no comment on any rumors about his future. Or another friend of ours, John U. Bacon. This was from Monday. Others have reported what I've waited for my sources to confirm. Michigan is preparing to buy out AD Ward Manuel, which is expected. He is expected to accept some version of the investigation UM commissioned into the department is likely to release by the end of the week, too. That is all happening. This shouldn't surprise any of us. I don't think that Michigan is the only program in the country that would do it like this. I don't think everybody would. I don't want to put that stain on everybody. But none of this is that surprising, no matter how salacious it is. And it's pretty damn salacious, Reese.
Yeah, the rot's in the foundation.
Yeah.
And you would think, because the Michigan man, and I've said this, lives in their own reality. And in any other place, I would think that the athletic director would be removed by now, especially when you've spent $11, $12 million with this law firm on this investigation. And then thinking as a public institution, you could just get away with not telling anybody what the findings are. I mean, that's, again, the ego of the Michigan man, thinking they're the leaders and best and above everything else. I don't know, because the Monday reporting by John U. Bacon and others had the buyout package ready to go for Ward Manuel. The Board of Trustees meets on Thursday. But then Ward Manuel's texting friend of the program, Angelique Chingalis of the Detroit Free Press, I'm not going anywhere. I'm paraphrasing what he said, because she just asked him, are you stepping down? Are you stepping away? No.
Yeah.
And others have reported that Ward Manuel has to them. I mean, Yahoo Sports has comments from Ward saying, I'm not going anywhere. And I kind of believe him, because that's how bad it is up there, where as long as he's winning games or he's hiring coaches that win games, they're good.
And, like, if the report's accurate, like, his biggest mistake wasn't just, like, hiring more. It was just failing to go into any of the concerns that were documented over and over again. It wasn't like it was, oh my gosh, I have never heard of any of these situations that happened. It was never just a Sharon Moore problem. Now it's an institutional problem, like an $11 million independent investigation shouldn't just lead to, like, slap on the wrist. That should probably lead to some major accountability.
This is the definition of lack of institutional control.
Yeah, it's well put. Yeah.
But I have zero faith that the forces in place designed to check these institutions will do anything about it.
I don't even know who that is anymore, Reese. I really don't. I don't know who would even be able to do anything to Michigan. I mean, they're going to fire Ward Manuel. They've already fired Sharon Moore. My guess is Sharon Moore's not going to get a cent of his buyout. I mean, there's another thing in this investigation where it talks about that the university was aware of Moore had online interactions with the wife of a Michigan donor who posted provocative photos on Instagram to Moore. Like, Sharon Moore? I mean, he's got some onions on him. Like, he wasn't even in that job that long.
What's the arrogance?
My God, his behavior was he was behaving like, like Jackie Sherrill back at Mississippi State, or, all those years ago, castrating bulls or wherever the hell he did that. Like, I mean, they're just behaving in a completely reckless. I mean, we're doing Oklahoma today. This is like Barry Switzer, mid-'80s. Like, just whatever you want stuff. Even, some of this stuff it's crazy what they did. It's crazy his behavior. It's crazy that they didn't just cut ties with him right away. Like, what did they think they were going to lose by firing Sharon Moore, like, the second that they got a whisper of it? Unless firing Moore would have led to pulling the string on a ball of Spygate, the likes of which nobody could have seen. Because perhaps that's what Sharon Moore was always about, is to be that guy.
Well, Chris Partridge was the fall guy, and now he's suing the university.
He is.
So I think your point's valid. that if they played it, let's just keep him here until there's no way we can keep him, because if he goes before we can get Jim Harbaugh out of here, and even the president left.
Yeah,
like all the rats are off the ship except for Ward, and
he's staying somehow. As long as they want to keep him. And again, the Board of Trustees meets in Traverse City on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't expect him to go anywhere, but I hope I'm wrong, because he should. I don't think John puts that out there unless I think he's gone. I think that they do a buyout and he's gone. Which is a shame, because he should get nothing.
Yeah. No. It was the most corrupt athletic department in the country for a period of time. There is no doubting that. We had a thriller in the World Cup semifinal. We had an all-star game last night. We've got a loaded up show for you on a First Friday. We're off and running. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Men, when addressing the problem of erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific medical situation, because every case is different, and finding the right treatment can mean the difference between just an okay experience and an amazing one. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and at our practices, we offer the full range of ED treatment protocols and can even combine therapies to help make those intimate moments special, both for you and your partner. At Tri-State Men's Health, we are the leader in treating ED in the area. Our medical providers specialize in men's sexual health and understand that no two cases are alike, which means you'll get the right treatment for you based on sound medical evaluation and appropriate applications of medical therapies. Plus, we offer treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most men, you'll get your sex life back. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
1 million is the kind of number you see on a scoreboard and double check to make sure it isn't broken. Hey, it's Austin Ward here. 1 million seconds is almost 12 days. 1 million minutes is almost 2 years. Now make it £1 million, because that's what Awaken 180 clients have crossed. 1 million pounds lost, and by the time you're hearing this, that number is already bigger. I know what my 50 pounds changed for me thanks to Awaken 180, which was basically everything. So when Paige told me the news, I didn't hear a corporate milestone. I heard my 50 stacked in with everybody else's. Scale after scale, belt notch after belt notch, person after person, realizing this time is different. That's not one success story, that's thousands and counting. Awaken 180 gives you the plan, the food, the coaching, the adjustments, and free support for life. The next story should be yours. Awaken180weightloss.com.
There's something that has always made small towns and great communities strong. It's not the buildings themselves, but the people and who show up for them. The businesses that don't disappear when the work is done. The ones that sponsor the local festivals, cheer from the sidelines, lend a hand when needed, and take pride in calling this place home. For more than 30 years, that's exactly who Newman Roofing has been. Yes, they install roofs, siding, and gutters, but what homeowners remember is how they're treated. The straight answers, the respect for your home, job sites left cleaner than they found them, and craftsmanship that's built to last. Because when you live where you work, every customer is also a neighbor. That's why Newman Roofing has spent decades investing in this community, earning trust one family at a time. Newman Roofing, treating you like family and our community like home. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat advisory is in place for the afternoon hours as we have a top heat index right around 100. Otherwise, plan for actual highs in the mid-90s under a mostly sunny and hazy sky. Mid-70s for a low tonight, so another warm one. And for Thursday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Hazy skies continue from that high-level wildfire smoke with highs once more in the mid-90s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And it's your Uncle Bo here. Homes in Columbus under constant attack by pests, termites, ants, mice. Don't wait for the invasion. Protect your property and family with Rose Pest Solutions Home Service Program. The Rose Home Service Program provides year-round protection for one flat annual fee with scheduled regular visits. Rose is locally family-owned, trusted by your neighbors in Ohio for 165 years. Get peace of mind today. Call 800-966-ROSE or visit rosepestsolutions.com. A little bit of breaking news in the National Hockey League. This is a little bit of a surprise. The Detroit Red Wings this morning, about 15 minutes ago, announced a change at the top of their hockey ops. Executive Vice President and General Manager Steve Yzerman is going to continue to serve on as an advisor to Governor and CEO Chris Ilitch, but he will no longer be the general manager and the president of the Detroit Red Wings. There's a statement from Ilitch and then this from Yzerman. I'm sincerely grateful to Chris, the entire Ilitch family. This organization has given me incredible opportunity from my time as a player to the privilege of returning as general manager. I've appreciated every experience through the years and I'm extremely proud to be part of this great franchise. They chose Larkin, right?
Yes.
Because there was always whispers of that Larkin and Yzerman didn't see eye to eye. Seems to me like that's what they did.
This was the smart move.
Yeah, probably.
Because as legendary as Stevie Y is, the Red Wings have not been legendary under his tenure.
Which is crazy because he built Tampa Bay.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's his...
This is baby. This is the smart play for Detroit. If they, Larkin hasn't been moved, so it felt like they were going to try to keep him as happy as humanly possible.
Yeah,
and this is probably the final piece in that.
Yeah, seems like it. So pretty big news there. All-Star game was last night. You had this in the update. 4-0 American League, a winner. I had this on for about, I don't know, probably about a half hour, and then I got an alert that I had a credit card fraud case, which then took me another 20 minutes, and so then I lost interest, and I forgot it was on, and I ended up going to bed early. So I watched for about a half hour. I love the pomp and circumstance of it. I love the stuff they did with America 250 in Philly, and by the way, that's where they should have been. I mean, it's a good place to have the All-Star game on the 250th birthday of America in Philadelphia. I often thought that the U.S. Open this year was where? It was Shinnecock. The U.S. Open probably should have been in Congressional for the 250th with all of the stuff that goes there. Should have probably been in the Capitol, but I digress. How was it? Did you guys watch all of it, little of it, none of it? How much?
I'd say after Messick, I kind of tuned. I dialed it back. Like I had it on TV. Parker Messick was the second guy out of the gate. It was great. And then it was on, but I was paying attention to other things. It's the best All-Star game because you know what it is. Everything else is just what is this? What am I doing? What are the rules here? This is just a baseball game. And while it's probably not the sexiest baseball game, because I think Bellinger's 2-run single was about as much offense as you got, and certainly nothing really from the National League, they did a good job of trying to make a fun exhibition baseball game.
I'm in the exact same spot as you, Reese. I feel like you can tune into it, and I watched a little bit of it with my fiance, and she understood what it was because it's just a baseball game. It's not like the NFL where you're playing dodgeball or the NBA where you have to explain everyone what the rules are. And so for that, I think it hits what it is. I think people are starting to come around to the fact that the All-Star games from here on out probably just aren't going to be great because of how sports have moved in the past 10 years. But it is what it is, and I thought it served the audience that they were probably searching for, which is the baseball fans that want to tune into the All-Star game. Everything with Philadelphia, like you said, Bo, was pretty spot on. America 250, but it was solid.
Part of me wants them to keep it in Philly because of the crowd. Like, I wonder if they do 5 years in Philly and then maybe if it gets stale, they move it to another city because that can make such the difference.
So this is one of the things that I hate to do. Let's just do like some reckless, like 30,000 feet up. Who are the great baseball cities in America right now? I mean, and it's Philly on that list. I mean, I think Philly's clearly on that list.
Yeah, Philly, New York.
St. Louis.
You get a good...
Is it still St. Louis? It always has been. Is it still?
It's baseball heaven. It feels like it has to hang around for a while. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been to a game there. I've been to St. Louis, but I remember when Threes was playing for the Rams and like Wainwright and Pujols were there. It was like he said even Chris Long could walk down the street. No one knew who they were.
I feel like it has to be because they still just don't have anything else there. And I'm sure they have been kind of the past 10 years or so more irrelevant, but that's what that city is. Everyone in sports radio in St. Louis right now is talking about baseball.
They're doing baseball. Okay, so St. Louis is, Philly is, New York is for sure. Is it Boston?
Yeah, I was going to throw Boston. I'm trying to get over to the West Coast, so I'll add.
Well, there's one that I think the Dodgers.
I was just going to say Chavez Ravine would be a great place for an All-Star game.
And I also think it's one of those places where you could probably do a little Dodger talk on the sports talk, and it would be more than tolerated because I think they're either the 1 or the 1A in that city. I mean, it's a Lakers-Dodgers town.
Oh, you can lead with Ohtani, I feel like now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But there aren't that many where that's the case, where baseball is the passion that fuels it. My hunch is in Philly, and this is completely reckless. My hunch is in Philly that everybody is that it's Eagles and then Phillies like right below. That's like Eagles at the top and then Phillies just right underneath it.
Imagine some Flyers talks creeped in over the last couple of weeks for obvious reasons.
Sure. It's a great sports town. So you're doing all of it. But if you're doing, my guess, if I had to guess from 30,000 feet, I would go Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, depending on.
Yeah.
But I think both of those are similar.
LeBron.
Yeah, my guess is Sixers are more winning now. I mean, they've had a pretty good summer. They just got Jaylen Brown for nothing. They might get LeBron. Still not no restitution on that.
No.
Is tomorrow the day?
Tomorrow's a day. It's been this
I
is
think he's
the
got
day.
a site. Doesn't he have a podcast something with Fanatics or something tomorrow?
They have the Fanatics Fest. I want to say.
Yeah, I think he's in it tomorrow. So I think he's talking.
Oh, is that the Decision Part 3? Because he did a decision, but it was I think for Cognac, and that was a letdown. So this would be the third decision.
Yeah,
he's going to do it on the podcast.
That's my guess is that you'll know in the next 48 hours one way or another. At this point, how much do you would it hurt? You guys are both Cavs fans. Would it?
No.
If he says no, you
if
don't
he
care?
says I'm going to Philadelphia or I'm going to spend my what's the other one? Miami? No, I wouldn't.
Or Golden State, right?
Oh yeah, no, I want Golden State. If it's not Cleveland,
you want Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
I'd be devastated. For me now, it feels like this is what the Cavs, they're all in. I don't know what the other move is for this season if they don't get LeBron, because it feels like they're waiting for this. And if he doesn't cap it off this way, I've watched LeBron pretty much my entire life. Has been kind of LeBron's been here, he's not been here. But as far as my NBA fanhood, except for the last 5 years or so, it's been pretty much all LeBron. So I'd be pretty upset if he doesn't cap it off here.
So LeBron's schedule Thursday at 1:15, he's doing a Mind the Game recording at Fanatics Fest with Tyrese Halliburton. And then the shop at noon on Friday, July 17th.
You said it would be Friday at 12:01. That's when it's going to be. It's going to be Friday at 12:01.
On Friday, the sports gods are just going to give us the biggest middle finger. They're going to have the Associated Press preseason top 25 around noon. So
we'll miss that.
Noon 01, you're going to get Ohio State at 2. So Rothman and I are going to be able to yell about that. And then LeBron's decisions. So their show's booked.
Yeah, they're locked in. They're
Great.
good. They're in good shape.
Happy for them.
Yeah, they win. They're the winners in this whole thing.
Unreal.
I'm a man. I'm 40 still. LeBron is a man. He's 40. I don't like trying to figure out a new pair of leisure shorts to wear at my age. I wear the exact same brands every single day. Like, there's no variety in any of it. It's the same every day. Do you really think, the collective you, do you really think that at 42 years old, LeBron James wants to learn a new organization? Do you think he wants to learn new places to park? Do you think he wants to learn a new city? I don't see it, man.
Probably not, yeah.
I just don't see it. If it's not, I don't think it's Golden State. I definitely don't think it's Philly. I guess I could see Miami a little, but I think that basketball fit is a mess in terms of just no one can shoot it. So I don't understand the basketball fit there, but I guess I could see Miami. But I just think, like, 40-year-old dudes don't want to learn new things. We're fully formed. And so to me, I would be shocked if it's not Cleveland. And if it isn't Cleveland, then I would think it would have to be Miami. But, I was wrong the last time. I remember saying vividly, there is no way LeBron James is going to go on national television and embarrass the city he grew up in. There's just no way he was going to do it. And then he did. He did. And he hit under the Boys and Girls Club, and he did. But I don't think that's happening this time. I think he's going to go a place he knows. He knows Cleveland best, Miami second. Those are the only two that, to me, feel like possibilities at all. And I think both of those, Cleveland, obviously, if he's documenting it, Cleveland is far and away the best because of the universal adulation that he will get every single game there. I mean, imagine just being bathed in love 41 times a year. That's what he'll get if he goes to Cleveland. If he goes to Miami, yeah, of course, there's an appreciation, but he's not even going to be the headliner. It'll be
they got Giannis.
So I just don't see it. To me, it's going to be Cleveland.
It wouldn't make sense to do a farewell tour. I think 10 years from now, if he went to Philly or the Warriors and they don't win the finals, it's like, why? If you go to Cleveland and do the farewell tour and you don't win the finals, it's like, well, it makes sense.
I mean, he's documenting all of this.
Yeah.
And so that farewell, it's going to be, I forget what his production house is, but all of this is going to be content.
Yeah. I would think so as well. And speaking of content, there is a lot of it coming your way over the next couple of days. We've got the Open Championship. The World Cup continues you're going to have another semifinal in that this afternoon. We'll go over what we saw yesterday and that, get you set for kind of a massive sports weekend that kind of popped up out of nowhere on all of us. It's up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you're looking for a vehicle that's got some serious space to it, check out this deal from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion.
The 26 Traverse LT Midnight, buy it for as low as $599 a month.
Or lease it for $515 a month if you'd rather keep it flexible.
Whether it's the guys, the gear, or just a full weekend of errands, this thing handles it.
Terms and conditions apply for well-qualified buyers.
McDaniel GM Superstore, just off Route 23 north on 95 in Marion.
Or pull it up right now at McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
The dealership AR and I trust with our own money.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The next chapter of Cleveland Browns football is here, and we want you to be a part of it. In the new world-class enclosed Huntington Bank Field, a new era of Browns football begins in 2029, and your path to being a part of it starts today. Place your deposit right now at newhuntingtonbankfield.com to reserve your spot and be one of the first to choose your seats in the best stadium on planet Earth, our brand new home in Brook Park. To reserve your spot and be one of the first to choose your seats in our brand new state-of-the-art facility.
I'm Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, millions of people called us for representation. Why? Because trust grows when you win, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion and counting. When you call America's largest injury law firm, you're calling a family. You're calling an army, our army. You're calling somebody who will fight for you. Injured? Let our family fight for your family. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Summer heats up fast here in Columbus, and bad windows can have a tough time keeping a home cool and can send energy bills through the roof.
I hate to admit it, but we've had some complaints about our windows doing that.
Uh-oh.
I just tell them it's just like being at the beach, minus the water and the beach and the happiness, and you're in your living room. It's gross.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
Well, I'll tell you what's up. A lot is up. Busy sports weekend. We kicked it off I guess sports week into a weekend. Kicked it off yesterday, Spain and France in a World Cup semifinal. Spain wins 2-0. The PK early in that one kind of set the tone for it, and then the Spanish defense was just absolutely clinical. This had to be a big one in your household, Reese.
I kept getting texts just with the Spanish flag. Like, I know, I get it. Like, they're incredible.
They're really good.
Like, this 19-year-old just running circles around people. I still don't get. I guess I understand offsides a little bit more because the goal would have made it 3-0 Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And Yamin Lamal.
Yep.
He gets the ball at perfect position, but I guess the defender passed it when he was over the midfield line. So that is offsides. But they played with France.
Yeah,
they were toying with France.
Yeah,
was what was incredible to me.
Yep. Very, really, the most impressive performance of the World Cup, just how stifling they were. France had not trailed in the entire World Cup, and they end up going home after a 2-0 win. It's funny, I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, wow, the next time around, Mbappe is going to feel some pressure. He's really got to win a World Cup. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he won one at 18. So he's fine. So he won one in 2018, got to the final in 22, and then got to the semifinals in 2026. And he'll be, 31 the next time there's another World Cup. So he's got plenty of time if he wants to track down another World Cup. For Spain, they'll attempt to win their first since 2010 was the last time Spain won it. Who will they play? They will play either England or Argentina. That is today at 3:00. There's a great deal of history in this one. This is the hand of God goal, the famous Maradona hand of God goal in the 86 World Cup. And I had seen that Argentina had petitioned to wear their dark blue over black in homage of that to kind of salt the wound on the English. I have not seen if that was necessarily improved or not, although my guess is England would want to wear their white anyway, so that would seem like it would be a very nice thing to do. So that'll be a fun one, and then you get that final on Sunday. All the while, you've got the Open Championship, which actually starts tomorrow. Is this the correct Eastern Standard Time, tee time, tomorrow?
That's what I saw on, it wasn't on ESPN. Let me double check that because 1:35 in the morning
Jeez.
Is early. Yeah, Thomas Detry and Matt Baldwin.
So that's 7:35 local, I guess, right? 7:35 local tee time, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess for the final on Sunday, though, it'll time up more how it normally does, where it's the middle of the morning, kind of like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll get the leaders tee off. They're at Royal Birkdale. Dave Shidlowski going to join us here in about 10 minutes to preview that and get you set for it. You have that going on as well. The baseball gets back into effect on Friday. In terms of what you saw yesterday in the World Cup and what you hope to see today, from an American sports fan perspective, what is the ideal final matchup for Spain? Because I think ideally you wanted France. You know, if you're Fox, you wanted France. You wanted Mbappe and Olise and Dembele and all of that, all the glamour that comes with that. Lamine Yamal certainly has some of that juice, but Mbappe is probably a little bit more known. The layup's probably Argentina, although the better story is England, right?
Yes. I was just about to say, I think you want the defending champs. I think numbers-wise, though, you want England. Because I think there would be so much hate watching of to watch the three Lions fall on Sunday. Because you're going to get from, say England wins today, you get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, football's coming home, and everybody else gets to take a dump on it Sunday if, in fact, it does not come home. Like, we love to hate on teams, and especially England. The ultimate colonizer. I think would make for this is as perfect as of a semifinal I think as FIFA could have hoped for. I guess as all soccer could have hoped for in terms of the World Cup, the final four teams you got. But yeah, England, Spain would be pretty epic.
And even if Argentina makes it, I mean,
great.
The Messi continues. Messi will carry that story too. I mean, that's what they'll talk about in the pregame for that. Will be the Messi build-up, which would be awesome yet again. But I think they definitely wanted France though, because then you get the Mbappe. Yep. Spain was awesome to watch yesterday. Watching them go at each other also showed me just the gap between and I hate to say this, but Team USA.
No, they're different sports.
It looked completely different watching them play. And what Spain was doing to France was incredible. Like, the ball movement was amazing to watch. And me, as not a huge soccer guy, I was like, wow, astonished at what they were doing because they made it look so easy against probably the second best team in the entire World Cup.
Oh, for sure they did. And yeah, it's a pretty big reminder of the gap. But the good news is there's a big gap for a lot of teams with these four. We're not alone. There's a big gap for a lot of teams when you talk at this level. This is pretty remarkable. England won the World Cup in 1966. They have not even played in a final since. Not even. They were fourth in 1990, so they played in the consolation game in 1990, and they were fourth in 2018. Eighth, then they didn't qualify in 74, 78. Sixth, eighth, fourth, didn't qualify in 94. Ninth, sixth, 7th, 13th, 26th, 4th, 6th, and then this one. They have not played in a World Cup final in 60 years. They invented the sport.
I mean, that's saying to the New York Knicks, hold our beer. That's like a Maple Leafs level frustration. To watch England have to be like the SEC team that goes to just a regular bowl game would be pretty hilarious, though. Because that's what the consolation game Saturday is going to be. It's like the SEC playing in a bowl game against the SEC 5 playing against Big Ten 2. It's like, we don't care. Can you imagine, like, what's Mbappe's give a damn for a Saturday consolation game? You get to go to Miami, so there's that. But, yeah, he's like, get me out of here.
I saw that yesterday. I've completely phased that they even did the loser bracket game, which at this point feels ridiculous. I can't imagine these two teams suiting up on Saturday and playing in this game. I don't understand why. Why do they have the runner-up game? They ought to do what I do in youth sports. We call them play for nothing games. So if I see like it's a loser out, here's your guaranteed 5th game, and I'm 6 hours from home, I just leave. Yeah. I'm out. So that's what France should have done. Like, as soon as they lose yesterday, Air France home, Paris, let's get a little rest, and we'll see on down the road. It's crazy that there's an interest for a now, it could be like if it's Argentina, France, that's a pretty easy thing to sell. That's a lot of star power in that thing. But what effort? Like, if you're Messi, do you play in a third place game? Can't imagine why you would do that. Maybe they guess would, if it's your last World Cup match, right? Yeah, I guess that would be the kind of the way you'd have to spin it, would be a little bit like that. So that all of that stuff is happening. We also have conference meetings are happening. The ACC took place yesterday. The ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips really hammering home that the conference is in better shape than ever. These guys are all Baghdad Bob. And among the things he said is that the revenue has doubled, even though their television package has not changed in all these years, which I find nearly impossible that they've been able to double the revenue without the television package going up. But he claims that they have. This will be interesting when this week is done there, and we'll talk to Paul about this tomorrow when he joins us at 10:30, just in terms of what is the future of that league. And one of the things that I think that league's hoping for, the Big 12 is hoping for, is for intervention from the federal government. And one of the things that they want is protection from the Big 10 and the SEC. To that end, several representatives of the Big 10, including Ohio State president, among others, met with folks in Congress, Senators Maria Cantwell, Ted Cruz, as part of the Protect College Sports Act. The meetings were described as productive. This is the biggest waste of money of all time. You're paying. Reese, how many years have we been doing this, man? I'll try to paint the turd gold. You are at least going to put this piece of legislation, you hope. I don't know what the time frame is on the next break for our esteemed Senate, but you're trying to get the vote before they go on that break. I think you have till end of August. So that's a step in the right direction. You've got to get revisions requested by those Big Ten presidents in by the end of the week. And then, you're trying to get this thing, they get a month-long break in early August. Didn't they just go on a break? This is the worst group of people to decide something that's is extremely complicated and difficult, like college athletics. Well, Reese, in the old days, they used to go back to the farm. Yeah. Because it wasn't a job. It was,
You know what I mean? Like now they turned it into like a lifetime career of grifting. But in the old days, like, yeah, you had to go back to the farm and we got to get the crops in. They just haven't changed any of that. So, yeah, I'm not optimistic anything tangible comes of any of this thing, to the point that Reese just made. This thing's all done in 2 weeks and nothing's going to get done. They got bigger fish to fry out there. Speaking of bigger fish to fry, we will head across the pond, although I don't believe he is across the pond. I don't think Dave is. He's been before. We'll talk a little Open Championship with our old buddy Dave Shedlowski, Golf Digest and editor of the Memorial Magazine. He joins us coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio.
Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable.
The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
One bite in, you'll be saying, that's hot as fire. Speedway's new Hottest Fire Chicken Sandwich turns up the temp. Eat the heat for $4.99 only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. See app for full terms.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in 1 day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
At Wright Pat Credit Union, we are owned by our members, not shareholders. So our only bottom line is you.
What's the catch?
There isn't one. I mean, I guess you have to be a member.
Uh-huh. And what's that cost?
Oh, there's no monthly cost.
Oh, but there's a bunch of eligibility restrictions, right?
No. If you live here, you can bank here.
No catch. What is this?
It's banking done right. Wright Pat Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Every summer morning is different. Luckily, Tim Hortons has a breakfast wrap for every morning. Kick off your summer with the bold new steak and egg wrap. Start your morning fresh with the egg white and Swiss wrap. Or keep it classic with the grilled breakfast wrap. No matter what summer mood you're in, you can always find a wrap at Tim Hortons. Your morning happy place.
Common Man and Timmy are putting together a hangout at the radio station for a small amount of listeners. Pizza will be involved. Ping pong, too. Lots of inappropriate conversation. And don't forget, pin the tail on Teddy. Tell Man and Timmy why you're the perfect guest by emailing goodcleanboy@gmail.com.
Presented by Billiards Plus and sponsored by Paisano Peppers.
The event takes place Thursday, July 30th, and all email submissions must be in by July 27th. Enter today. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. What's the weather outside? Who cares? Bakers and shorts. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, that's a perfect lead-in coming back, because when you talk about the Open Championship, weather is always a part of it. It seems like it's really dry and really fast over there. For some perspective on what the best players in the world are going to see, we go to our official golf historian, bureau chief, Memorial boss. Our good buddy Dave Shedlowski joins us, Golf Digest, editor of the Memorial Magazine. Dave, I know you're not there now, but in terms of going from, and you see this every time they go over there, and now they get that Scottish Open, which I really like. I want to ask you about that in a second. But just the transition from the golf we play here to the golf we play there, as a consumer, I love it. I love the Open Championship. What is that adjustment like for players?
Well, the adjustments are to accept bad bounces and hope for some good ones, and, just prepare for playing the game more along the ground than in the air. Now, I don't think they're going to get much wind, so that might not be a factor, but bounces it's going to get crazy there how dry it is.
Dave, for the folks over here who have never been over there and never been to one of these courses, and you have multiple times and all of that, what is the biggest, just in terms of the look, the feel, the fan experience, what is the biggest difference between how we do it over here and how they do it over there?
Well, one thing they do is they don't manipulate the golf course. We tend to, basically overwater, overplan, overset up. These guys over there, they just, whatever the weather is what it is. Now, they might grow a little more rough, or allow the rough to grow during wet weather. But again, weather dictates everything over there. We try and, basically, quote unquote, control the conditions like the USGA does, and they don't. And so it's just a much more exciting brand of golf, because you never know what you're going to get.
I love it. I love waking up to it. I love everything about it. Yep. When you were talking about the manipulating of the course and those things, this one at Royal Birkdale, where they are this week, as you were saying that, I don't remember the exact year. I'm sure you do. There was a year Tiger won it and he didn't hit driver, or maybe only hit driver once. And I saw some reporting from over there this week that 5 and 6 irons were rolling 300 yards in some instances. For a guy like Rory, is that in play where you don't hit driver this week, or do you still roll the dice? How do you think it will be played?
I don't think a lot of these guys everybody hits it long now, so I don't think you're going to see a lot of drivers, except maybe on shorter par fours where they're trying to drive the green. Tiger 2006 at Hoylake, Royal Liverpool, he had one driver. He has iron all week. We're going to see that again. I mean, Jack Nicklaus did the same thing at Muirfield in 1966. I think he had 4 drivers in 72 holes to win that Open. Of course, got Muirfield Village from that victory. It's John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler. I mean, you name it, these guys are going to dial back on club selection, and they're still going to be in position to make a score.
Dave, I saw an incredible video of Rory. He was doing a sit-down interview, and he could name every winner going back to 1995. And I just think of the Open, which to me was just how much he reveres it and what it means to him. Can you feel sometimes when you go to these places that have existed, before even in some instances we were a country, and you show up at these places, when you go over there, do you feel bathed in the history of it and revered, how much the game is revered there?
You do, and you just feel sort of the old country in general. I mean, I remember going to press work where they had the first 13 British Opens and played there, and there was a cemetery along the side of the second fairway, and I asked my caddy, how old is that cemetery? And he said, 12th century. Okay. 12th century. We're 250 years old as a country. That thing is 900 years old.
Good grief,
so that in itself is, you know, there's a lot of history there, and of course there's that history of golf. You know, I remember going to Carnoustie where Hogan won, and just thinking, man, you could almost feel the ghost, the footsteps of the ghost walking through there. You really could. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Talking to our great buddy Dave Shedlowski, Golf Digest and editor of the Memorial Magazine, joining us. Open Championship starts tomorrow, 1:35 a.m. Eastern. First tee times over there. I do like this Scottish Open into the Open Championship. I do like that. I'm not a fan of the PGA Championship in May, but I do like the Scottish Open kind of getting that and kind of not a warm up. I mean, it's its own big event, but then getting that right into the Open. I think we do have to acknowledge, though, for the casual golf fan, golf ends with this major. I think for the casual fan, it does. And without having that PGA Championship in August, it kind of gets shut off. We've been doing this for a while now. Where does this sit with you in terms of the calendar of how golf is right now being played?
Well, that's an excellent question. And I can tell you that we started this May PGA schedule in 2019, and I still can't get used to it. I'm used to the PGA ending the season in August. It seems early that the Open Championship being the last major in July. You know, I get it. They wanted to have the PGA Tour wanted to have its FedEx Cup ending earlier, and certainly that leads into what's our schedule going to look like in 2028 when they do this new paradigm of upper and lower tier events. I can't get used to it. I always feel like there should be one more after it.
I feel exactly the same, buddy. I really, it seems so strange to turn the faucet off to me right now for the casual fan.
Yeah,
I know it.
It's still golf season for another month. Come on.
I'm with you. I couldn't agree with you more. All right. Having that as the setup, who do you like this week at Royal Birkdale?
Okay, well, you have to take Rory because he has figured out his driver, and I know we just said he probably won't hit his driver, but when he does, and I think he might use it to, as a weapon on some par fours, he has figured that out. At least that's what it appears. I do like Rory. I like somebody like Victor Hovland, who seems to have figured out what he's doing. He won recently at the Canadian Open, and then of course, you know what? My dark horse, even though he's not a dark horse, is Bryson, who's missed the cut in the first three majors of the year. Nobody hits longer than he does. Gosh, he might be hitting, 7 irons off the tee in some instances. I don't know what he's going to hit. I mean, but it'll be interesting. And, of course, no matter what he does, it is entertaining. So there you go.
Here's what I love about it, what you just said. I love the imagination that these courses allow these guys to play with. We are in a world now where they just hit bombs off the tee and they'll deal with where it is down there somewhere because they can still get up and down in most instances with it. You can't do that here. They're going to have imagination, Dave, and it's one of the reasons I really love this major.
Well, look at what Patrick Harrington said when he was at Scioto a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about he was talking to me about the getting used to accepting the bad bounces at a British Open, and he was saying, no, well, you know what? Then don't hit it in places where you think you're going to get a bad bounce. I used to hit it in the rough on purpose occasionally because that was a better angle, and that's the golf that these guys are used to playing over there. It's very strange. I love it. But very fun.
Absolutely. It's fun. I'm with you, buddy. I love it. I think it's fun. Love talking to you. Thank you so much for your perspective today.
You betcha. Thanks, Bo. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Dave Shedlowski, our good buddy with Golf Digest and editor at the Memorial Magazine, joining us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll do Hey Guys an hour early coming up next. Still time to get your questions in. We'll take them in the YouTube chat and also live at 971 BFS on the X platform. Second hour coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Men, erectile dysfunction can affect much more than just your sex life. It can create stress in relationships, leading to feelings of anxiety or embarrassment, and impact your overall confidence and well-being. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And we specialize in treating men's sexual health issues to help men find solutions that fit their individual needs. ED is a frustrating condition, and many men suffer for years without seeking treatment. But the good news is that if you're like most men, we have the answer. Our licensed medical providers will evaluate your specific medical situation and recommend a plan designed for you. And these advanced medical therapies work, with treatments having success rates of well over 90%, which means you and the one you love can have great sex again without the fear and worry of ED. You can even last up to an hour or more, and you may just find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, the original home of the no-cost mortgage. As a third-generation family-owned business, I learned early on the importance of relationships and always looking out for the best interest of the consumer. So back in 1987, I witnessed firsthand how closing costs worked and did not like what I saw. Averaging upwards of $15,000, the cost of refinancing was so high, it prevented borrowers from lowering their payment, while the cash to close on a purchase was doubled. That's insane. So 39 years ago, I developed a loan option without any cost at all. Instead of using your money, we used the lender's money. The result? A zero closing cost mortgage. Fast forward to today, and we've now saved consumers over $500 million in needless fees. So before you hand your money over to your lender, call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is right for you. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Common Man and Timmy here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Timmy, that new hotel is open and it's amazing.
It really is. Also, we have red, white, and win drawings on Saturdays in July. You can step into the flying cash machine for a chance to win up to $2,000 in pen cash.
And the best part, all you can eat crab legs are back. Be here on Tuesdays in July and August from 4 to 10 for Canadian snow crab legs with butter, corn on the cob, and Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, Hawaiian rolls. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. Years ago, I told you about how my feet ached, just general fatigue. But man, I've been feeling good with my personally fit arch supports. There's no doubt they've helped me. They've stabilized my feet. I always feel supported and my body feels aligned. They're firm but flexible, and I can pop them into any pair of shoes. In fact, I'm still wearing my original arch supports. I work out with them in my shoes, ride the bike, and play golf. My arch supports from the Good Feet store changed the game for me. And the fitting I got was personalized, and it will be for you. It's really thorough. They measured my feet and arch size, and I knew right away after taking the test walk around the store, I felt the difference. Book your free personalized fitting today, and once you've been fitted and you found the supports that work best for you, you'll be able to wear your new arch support inserts home. They're made in the USA and engineered to last. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store in Grove City or on Polaris Parkway in Westerville. No appointment necessary, but you can always schedule online. Get started at goodfeet.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place, here with a happy customer.
Wilson's trying very hard.
Thanks, Mom. I mean, Margaret.
Wilson, is this your mom?
Yes. Mom.
Wilson, your mom should like your windows.
Oh, I wouldn't know. We actually have Pella windows.
Mom!
They've really lowered our energy bills.
I'm going to go wait in the car.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit LindsayHonda.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Eric Reeser. While we wait on Adam Fantilli contract news, the Detroit Red Wings are moving a Michigan man out of the top job with the franchise. Detroit legend Steve Yzerman is stepping away as general manager to become a Red Wings senior advisor. Team owner Chris Ilitch is looking for a new GM starting today. The news comes in the wake of Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin requesting a trade in part because of a reported rift with Stevie Y. In soccer, the final ticket to Sunday's World Cup final will be punched this afternoon in Atlanta. England battles Argentina at 3 p.m. Winner gets Spain in that final at MetLife Stadium. The loser takes on France Saturday in the consolation game that'll be played at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. In baseball last night, the AL blanked the NL 4-0 in the All-Star game. Regular season resumes Friday for the Guardians and Reds. Cleveland hosts Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's at Colorado. This update is sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. Together to serve you better. Scheduled today at thewaterworks.net.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a First Friday. 20 most interesting Oklahoma coming up in an hour from now. So to make room for that, we kick Hey Guys up an hour earlier. Go ahead and hit it, fellas.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by Rose Pest Solutions.
All right, we'll start with Matt on Twitter at 971BFS. Of course, we can get them live in the YouTube chat. If we can read them on the air, there's a good chance we'll do so. But also, again, 971BFS, as Matt does over on Twitter. Hey, guys, after going through 2 weeks of my 14-year-old going through travel baseball tryouts and getting friends and families pitted against each other for roster spots, is there anything more absurd than the travel youth sports model?
Not much. I do think I empathize with what I mean, that's crazy, like 2 weeks of all of that. I do think that there are a lot of people who are trying to do the right thing with it and wanting to, give a great experience and all of that. At the root of all of it, though, it does come down to the money. And this is all you need to know about where youth sports is and where they've been. And there was, for the kids out there, there used to be this show called Real Sports that was on HBO that Bryant Gumbel hosted that did long-form journalism. They would do 15-minute stories on HBO. And some of the most impactful journalism reporting that I've ever seen in my life happened on this show. And this was probably 10 years ago. They did a story on youth sports and private equity and what was happening to it. And they based the story at this place where I spend a weekend every summer in Carmel, Indiana, where they have this. I mean, the Colts built it, and it's just a sea of fields as far as the eye can see. And I know there's one that's going up north of town here that they're building one into. I've heard that's happening, and please do it so I don't have to go to Baltimore. But the reality is that this is such big business and that was a decade ago. They were talking about private equity. Private equity is buying up these youth programs left and right because of how profitable all of these things are. So, is there anything? No, it's on a list. I mean, but at the same time, and Matt, you know this. What are you going to do? Tell your kid he's not doing it? He wants to do it. He wants to play with his buddies. He wants to play sports. It's better than being on a screen. So we all end up just doing it and going along because in the end, it's our kids really want. If at any point any of my boys are like, Dad, I don't want to do this, fine. I don't make anybody do anything. We're out. Shut it down. We're good. Just go on about your life being a kid and don't worry about it. But I also think that notion of, go just be a kid, that's a very different, just go be a kid than it was when I was a kid. I didn't have phones. I didn't have Xboxes. I didn't have on-demand YouTube life being fed to me like dopamine, like the way that these kids are. It was very, very different life. And so just go be a kid now means something very different than it did when if you're of a certain age, than we all did. But keep your head up. You're going to get through it. And, yes, there's a lot of things that are absurd. And when absurd things happen, if you have a radio show, you can talk about them.
Phil chimes in the YouTube chat. Hey, guys, what's the most you've ever spent on what item and what was it? He says, exclude things like cars and houses. He says, I spent $1,300 on my Sony TV for the man cave.
That's a good job. By the way, how much would that Sony TV have been for the man cave 15 years ago? 15,000? Like, now you get like an 85-inch TV for $1,200.
Giving them away.
Yeah, whatever you want. Oh, I don't want to get too much into this. I remember. I'll give you a funny one. I was finishing up college. I was already on television at the CBS affiliate in Billings, Montana. So both the sports director and the weekend guy at this local of CBS affiliate Q2 KTVQ Television in Billings, they both quit within a month of each other. Well, they didn't quit. They got better jobs. One went to Minneapolis. The other one went to Tallahassee, which is how I ended up in Tallahassee. So he went to Tallahassee. And so I went from like sports intern to, hey, do you think you can do the nightly sportscasts? And it was in my last year of college. And I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. So all of a sudden I became like the main guy. So I was like 21 years old, and I was on the side of a billboard with like these people who were in their 50s and 60s who had been in town for like 30 years, and I'm like on a billboard while I'm still in college. It was crazy. So I'd like go to school in the day, and then I would I was like the main sports guy. I was like the Dom Taberry of Billings, Montana when I was 21 years old. And I got my first like real paycheck. And previous to that, I worked at Gart Sports. And I worked at in college, I worked at Gart Sports, which was kind of like a Rocky Mountain Dick's Sporting Goods type situation. And then I worked at golf courses, like mowing lawns, mowing the grass and stuff like that. So then I get this job, and it was like, oh, there's pretty good money in this. And one of the first things I bought was I went to the Gap, and I spent like $750 on a black leather jacket.
Hell yeah.
And I would like go around like Shaft, trying to, be a big shot.
Right when you said the Gap, I was like, what could he have bought at the Gap?
It was the Gap.
That was so expensive.
Gap was a little different in those days, guys. It was a little different than it was then. And there weren't a lot of places where you could buy leather jackets in Billings, Montana, but you could buy one at the Gap. And so I remember buying that.
I remember in my early into mid-20s when I started making money, not like actual money, but money enough to where you could just throw it away on stupid stuff, like Oakley frog skins. I don't think they were being made at the time, but there was older models that I would like scour eBay for because the frames were just big enough to fit my big head, and they came in like actually colors that were fun. But they were, $350, $400 for some of these, and I just
there you go.
Like it was nothing. And because, again, I was in my 20s, I'm wearing them out when I'm day drinking, or I'm wearing them to baseball games. And guess who's not coming home with those $350 glasses? Well, it's sure your pal Eric.
Every time.
And then I'm buying another pair 2 weeks later. It's nuts. So stupid.
Not a big thing guy for me. I think for me, it probably would be concert tickets. I spend a lot of money going to some festivals. I don't have very many things in my house that I've spent a lot of money on, but the concert tickets, I've spent some silly amounts of money on experiences.
Yeah.
Can you say the one concert you're like, why did I spend that on this?
I went to the Sand in My Boots, which is like Morgan Wallen's festival that he did a year ago. And it was an awesome time, but it was very, very, very expensive.
Okay? We okay there?
The air conditioning isn't working in the building, or at least parts of the building. And so to curb the electrical, I guess, usage, they are turning lights off throughout the building.
But they did say they weren't going to turn them off in the studio, so that means something's got mixed up.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
We've reached the pets.
We are in a old storage closet, so I think everything had to be brand new when they put us here.
Right.
Sorry, Isaiah, before we were so rudely cut off by our maintenance.
It's okay. But either way, I'm glad that we were able to stay on the air.
I'll tell you this I feel we went to Jack Johnson last week. I think I said this on the show. And he was great. I forgot, I didn't realize how big he had gotten over the last 20 years because I've been living in a cave. But I feel the way about concerts that I feel about NBA. I'll go. I would rather go once and have great seats than go a bunch of times and have bad seats. And I feel that way about comedians. Like we went and saw Kevin Hart a couple of years ago, and we were kind of up, and it was so far back. I was just watching on a screen, and I'm like, just do it once and pay a lot and have great seats versus a bunch of times and have bad seats.
Because once you have the good seats, it's like when I went to so many Browns games where I sat in the upper deck for years, and I loved the upper deck. And then I made my way to the lower bowl one time, and I was like, dang, now I can't go back to the upper deck because I sat in the lower bowl.
Isaiah, have the button ready. Chimney Checkwa's burner
Chimney Cheekwa
asks, hey guys, what's the closest you've been to a dangerous animal encounter? He says he was once unknowingly within 7 to 8, I'm going to go inches here, of an alligator, and he still holds it against Florida.
I mean, that's really close. I mean, I have been within an arm's length of the following animals. Well, arm's length is probably a little too close, but I would say 10 yards of grizzly bears, mountain lions, arm's length of hundreds of rattlesnakes through the years. Yeah, I mean, you got it. Where I grew up, you were in harm's way a lot. I was having this conversation with the boys. I'm like, what is the apex predator of Ohio? And we Googled it, and it was a deer. And I went, oh, yes, you're growing up very, very differently than I did. Is a black bear that's wandering?
Yes.
Is that the best
you
we got?
Can see
Closest
it.
we got? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our biggest apex predator is a little black bear, which I don't think can harm
Oh,
anybody.
yeah, in Ohio, it's not much.
No, it's got to be, yeah, like just a lost black bear is the best that we can hope for.
I think an aggressive bear could open you up.
Maybe. They're not that big. Like a black bear isn't that big, the ones that have kind of have come through. But no, like there's been a great many instances of coming in the heart. And then there's even stuff on the Ponderosa, like, horses going nuts when you're trying to break them, or bulls coming at you, or steers coming at you. Like, yeah, there's been a lot. There was a lot.
Did you get those Yellowstone murder horses? Don't go into those. Don't go to those stables.
Most ridiculous thing they ever did on that show.
They'll stomp you dead.
Murder horse. What are they thinking? And Sheridan should know better, Reese. Yeah. The one thing he really gets the horse stuff right. There is no such thing as a murder horse.
He likes to have fun. It's his part. It's what's more fictitious than the murder horse or the 4-hour commute round trip around Montana? Oh, you going to Texas? Yeah, it takes maybe, a couple minutes.
The best one was when Casey was rounding up a horse rustler on the Milk River, which is that's Canadian border, Montana, and his wife was going into labor in Paradise Valley, and somehow he was in both places in a day. I'll be right there, and he hopped in his truck. Dude, that's 7 hours, man. You're not getting there anytime soon. We'll continue with the Hey Guys fun coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
CME Federal Credit Union wants to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Learn more at CMEFCU.org today. Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
Summer is here, and there's no better time to upgrade your ride than at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're towing the boat, heading to the lake, or planning the ultimate family road trip, now's the time to save. Get $299 APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2026 Toyota Tundra, or lease the 2026 Camry LE for just $319 a month for 36 months and $399 due at signing and 10,000 miles per year. Make this your summer adventure with the team at Germain Toyota of Columbus, conveniently located at the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus, where summer savings are in full swing.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can save up to $35 on your next fill-up? Redeem your points for big savings at the pump. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Alan Mann here for Universal Windows Direct. You're running that air conditioner because it's hot out. If your windows are old and leaky, you're wasting money. Right now at Universal Windows Direct, you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. Plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. That's 4 full years with 0 interest. Give them a call for your free in-home estimate today. 614-502-5220. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. 4 windows, get 4 free. Plus 48 months, 0% interest. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat advisory is in place for the afternoon hours as we have a top heat index right around 100. Otherwise, plan for actual highs in the mid-90s under a mostly sunny and hazy sky. Mid-70s for a low tonight, so another warm one. And for Thursday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Hazy skies continue from that high-level wildfire smoke with highs once more in the mid-90s. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, you are, and we are proudly sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for nearly 8 decades. They'll take care of you, Easton and Sawmill. We continue with the Hey Guys. Hit it, fellas.
This comes from Kyle in the YouTube chat. Hey, guys, I'm taking my kids to their first Buckeye game this fall. Says he graduated from Ohio State and only knows the college experience. He asks, what's the perfect family game day itinerary?
So we do this every year. I think it's awesome. I think you get there plenty of time early, obviously. You're going to do, like where we're set up to broadcast, that's the sweet spot right there. Like, there's all sorts of stuff to do with the kids there. I think you have to go skull session. I think it's really critical that you sit in a place that is conducive to kids. A couple of places, it seems like some of the back of A deck is a really good spot to where you can still see everything and the kids have a good time. I would definitely do that. I'd splurge for the parking. I know it's expensive, but I would get good parking so that part isn't a drag, because if your kids are smaller and you leave, that can be a long walk. So I would probably splurge for that if you could. But yeah, it's awesome. It's just that's the cool thing about Big Game on Campus, guys. The experience you have as a little kid, the experience you have in your late teens, early 20s, college age, the experience you have in your late 20s, early 30s if you're single or before children, and then your experience with children, and then you get another experience with grandchildren. It endures. All of those experiences are different, and they're all awesome. There's not one of those that suck. They're all great. It's just a different one. But I mean, my kids are so wide-eyed every time that we go. We go once a year. I take the whole family, and it sells the same way it would, I'm sure, for any of you. So you're going to have a blast, man.
And the difference in the experience is going to vary depending on the time of the year you go.
Sure.
If you're going for the game noon in November, take hand warmers and take more than you think you're going to need for your feet, for your butt, for your actual hands.
Yeah.
If you're going in September, say the 5th or the 19th. That's a noon kick. So hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, because you're going to have to go down early, obviously, for all of those, but the splurging on the parkings.
I would do it.
Yeah. Almost a necessity.
I would do it. It sucks. I mean, it just is what it is. But I mean, I would definitely do it because it's the last thing you want with, especially if they're like 10 and under, is you get, especially in September, like you go to a noon game, you're outside, you're hot, it's a beat down, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're walking, Dad, really? And you can't get out of anywhere either. So
And I can't
I would probably
condone this, but when we used to go, when Dad would take my brother and I, we would park off of North Star in UA and then walk towards campus. And that's a really cool experience to have because there's a sea of Buckeye fans that cross the bridge, cross the river, and that walk towards the shoe. But if your kids aren't fans of walking, and I think it's illegal to park in those neighborhoods over there now. So not condoning these things, just said that was my experience.
And prep your exit, because getting out of there, prep the kiddos for that. Hopefully they're going to be asleep on the way home.
That's again where that great parking, because they'll snake you out of there pretty quickly. If you have that great parking, you can kind of sneak out of there and get onto 315 pretty quickly. Snag says a good one here. He says UA's apex predator is a 13-year-old on an e-bike. He might be right.
That is true. An
Dangerous humans.
An unbelievable amount of e-bikes. It's insane to me as I drive around these neighborhoods.
Now.
It's crazy. No one's pedaling.
I saw kids who had to be NBC's age, like 13, 14. They were on, I guess you could call them e-bikes. I would just call them like motorized dirt bikes. Like when I was a kid, it was like, I did like a Honda YZ80. Like that's what it looked like to me, like a little, or Yamaha YZ, whichever it was. I can't remember Honda. It was yellow. I remember that, yellow and black. I think it was Yamaha. But anyway, we would, there's like a gas motorcycle. These are just electric motorcycles. That's all these things are. And I saw a kid, no license, no helmet. There was two. There was a 12, 13, 14-year-old driving it, and then another one sitting behind them with fishing poles going like 30 miles an hour down the road. No license, nothing. Crazy.
This from Chris in the YouTube chat. Hey, guys, what was your high school pre-dance dinner spots? He says we'd have to go to Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn.
He's talking about like homecoming and prom. We didn't do pre-dinner with homecoming. We did it with prom. Like prom was like white tablecloth. The only white tablecloth-ish restaurant near where I grew up was a place called the 3D, which is in Great Falls, Montana. They had a giant neon sign. I'm talking really giant, probably 10 yards tall and 30 feet tall. And it just said 3D, and then it was international cuisine. And it was like, in my head, it was like Mongolian barbecue, now looking back on it.
R.I.P.
But like that was kind of the setup for it. But that was the one. So everybody went to 3D. There's another place in Great Falls called Bory's. I have no idea if these still exist, but when I was a kid, those were the places you had to go for that. So there were no chains. That's what I said yesterday. Like when we got Olive Garden, that was a big deal because you would see an advertisement. There was no Red Lobster in the state of Montana when I was a kid. None.
Moretti's was pretty solid in the Tremont Center. Again, this is from my UA experience. Didn't do the Hyde Park, but that was one. That was an option in Upper Arlington. And
different world.
The older you got, the less it was pre-dinner, the more it was pre-game.
Yeah.
My senior year,
the houses that were not occupied by parents, where that happened.
I think for me it was we went to Brio, I think, one time, which is Italian in Polaris. I did that once. And it was awesome because I paid for my date's meal, and then my best friend also came with his date, and my best friend had forgotten his wallet. So I paid for his meal and his date's meal and he eventually got me back, but that was a good experience for all four of us.
I just remember like we had to write a check. I had to write a check. Like a physical check to pay for the meal. And nobody told me about tipping. Like I don't, it's not like my dad was giving me any guidance. Like I'm trying to, I wonder if I even tipped the poor people or if I just paid for the food. Like 30 years later now, I'm kind of panicking. Like, did I stiff the poor waiter at the 3D at the prom?
I'm sure they've held it against all of you kids 30 years, I should say. This from Jay in the YouTube chat. Hey, guys, my dad's on the edge of retirement, has really gotten into golf and wants to take me. Thing is, I've never played a hole of golf in my life. What's a good golf course in Central Ohio to start that's easier?
I wouldn't go to a golf course. I'd go to a great teaching pro and have them look. So if his dad's about to retire, he's probably a little bit of an elevated age. Just accept the fact that you're never going to be great, and it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about that. Like, you just want to be able to move the ball along forward. You want to be able to play bad quickly. I think there's a great many places. We have so many great public courses where you can go. But I would say before I just went to a course, I would definitely go get a lesson from somebody who knows. And there's a ton of them that do. But I would go there and get a lesson, just so they could give you the basics of setup and gripping it and where the swing ought to be. I understand it's going to be a really long journey for you to get to the point where you're going to feel really good about it. But hell, there's that video of Rory at the Scottish Open where he hit his second shot. We sprayed it out left, and he goes, "I'm terrible at golf." So, like, no one's immune to it, man.
So I try to find a time to go play 9 at Wilson Road. That's a pretty easy course to. I mean, you're going to get a ton of balls in the bodies of water. Try not to hit it into somebody's house.
Raymond's good for that.
Yeah, just it's no pressure.
Topgolf's a great place too.
Yeah,
Go to
great point.
Topgolf. I like
that's actually a pretty good idea. Like, if you haven't just swung, go get a lesson and then go to Topgolf and then just kind of just swing a little bit. Go to a driving range, just swing a little bit.
And I would also recommend doing it outside. Like, I know X Golf and some of the virtual simulators they're popping up all over the place, but I do think you want the outdoor experience.
Here's the other thing. Like, you have to get to it. This is really cool for you and your dad, and this is one of the reasons that I play golf as much as I do with the boys. I'm accepting that I'm never going to be worth a damn. But it is, when we go, it's the four of us without a screen, and for the most part, it's really quality, good time where nobody yells or nobody's mad at anybody, and we have a blast. It's a walk-in nature, man. Like, that's what you got to think of it as, especially if you're just picking it up. This is time that you're spending with your dad, where the two of you are doing something together, and that's a win. And you're outside doing it. So, yeah, don't worry too much about the rest of it.
We'll do one more here from Phil. Hey, guys, with the Sunshine Protection Act making its way to the Senate, which time do you prefer, daylight savings or standard?
Now,
he says DLS is the only right answer.
What we're in now.
This is daylight savings time.
Yeah, I want more light at the end of the day.
Yep.
I don't care about getting up to darkness. It doesn't affect me at all. I get up early all year round. It doesn't affect me if it's darker later. None of that affects me. I want it. Give me the maximum amount of sun at night. That's what I want.
And I couldn't tell you what I woke up to this morning or the past 10 months. I couldn't tell you if it was bright out, if it was dark out. It's the same thing for me. It's a drive to work. But in the evening time, I can tell you whether we had sunlight or not last night.
Also,
and we had sunlight.
Don't we do this every couple of years, it feels like? There's another piece of legislation that's moving through that's going to try. It's like, protect college sports or save college athletics, like daylight savings time thing.
Rubio, when he was in the Senate a couple of years ago, I thought that this was like a done deal, that we were done, and then it never happened.
Trump ran on it in his first term.
I think 2016.
Decade ago. Cavs weren't even champions yet.
It is something everyone agrees on, too. Like, you don't meet anybody that's like, no, I actually want it to be dark when I get home from work. I'd prefer that. No one wants that.
Nobody. No, you're right. 100% right. I've never heard anybody say it the other way. We'll do a little higher lower coming up next in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Fox Tonight, Ice-T, Carmen Electra, Steve-O, Matt Liner, and many more will get schooled.
Idiot.
On the new show,
Nation's Dumbest.
After the return of
MasterChef Global Gauntlet.
Starting at 8, only on Fox 28. At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
Make your biggest moments possible with Kemba Financial Credit Union. Right now, you can grow your savings faster with a limited time money market special, or lock in a high yield certificate with terms from 3 months to 7 years. These are rates that outshine national online and local banks, giving you a safe, secure way to build toward what matters most. Check today's rates at Kemba.org, federally insured by NCUA.
Is 2026 the year you achieve your health goals? The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road in Grove City.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They've all been paid by the Cleveland Browns. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little higher lower on a first Friday. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Now, this will be for Big Ten Media Days at the end of the month. I like the music.
It's so good.
So I understand it's not the ACC, because the ACC on CW Network, I don't even know what their music's like. I don't want to know. I don't think I'll be watching too much of that. They are doing their Media Days today through Friday in Charlotte. They had a tiebreaker scenario that they released, and we can get into that in a little bit. But what USA Today did, and specifically Matthew Glenesk, polled the USA Today writers who cover ACC teams, and there are 17 of them in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And if you can give me all 17, I've got a pen over here that's in decent condition I would love to give to you, because I couldn't.
There's no way I could. I didn't even know they had 17. I thought it was a round number. Well, I guess they have Notre Dame, sort of, so that's their 18th.
And so because of the odd number, because of the now move to 9 conference matchups, they're like, hey, here's a tiebreaker. Like maybe so they don't have what happened last year with your conference championship game contenders not being the team you actually send to the playoff. But we'll stick with the higher or lower here for the purposes of this segment. At number 1, Miami. At 2, your beloved Ponies, SMU. At 3, the Lincoln Kienholz-led Louisville Cardinals. Higher or lower for Louisville at 3?
I can't put them ahead of either the Canes or the beloved Ponies. I like him at 3. I think the thing that is really interesting about this is when you look at these 7 teams that are involved, and let's just say Notre Dame's going to be stubborn and they're not going to go to a conference, although I think you could force them into the Big Ten in 2028 if you wanted to. But let's just say that they didn't. And you were to look at this, and the 2 schools that are the loudest about wanting out of this are Florida State and Clemson. You just did the top 3 in this preseason poll and did not mention the Noles or the Tigers, either one of them. Both of them have won multiple national championships in the 2000s, and neither one of them is mentioned in this thing. So I guess Florida State's was 99, but you get the point. That's a stupefying thing to say. Louisville is a big money program now. They've got a lot of money to throw around. They're doing it in basketball. They paid Flory Badunga $5 million to leave Kansas and go to Louisville. I think Kienholz is going to be great. I can't say that he's going to be better than SMU is this year, who's loaded, and certainly not Miami, who's a legitimate national championship contender. I think this is, if anything, perhaps a little high for Louisville, and I would, in fact, drop them down maybe a little bit on this list. Not a lot, but a little bit. I would drop Louisville down a little bit. This is a little rich for my blood having Louisville at 3.
I would do the same. Last year they finished kind of up near the top of the ACC. They went 9-4, but in the actual ACC finished 4-4. And this year, I mean, they had a pretty easy non-conference schedule last year. This year they opened with Ole Miss. And so for me, that's probably an L off rip for Louisville. So for that reason alone, I could bounce them down probably 2 spots. I think they'll be solid this year. I really hope Lincoln plays really well. I think they have a good team around him. but it'll just depend on, how well he can play. What's his ceiling? And in Louisville, this is probably their ceiling, is the 3 spot for me.
Let me ask you guys, and maybe I'm just delusional, Reese. It's very possible that I am. If you're the Big Ten and you can pick the teams out of this league that you want, and let's say that there are 4 that you want, are we 100% sure that they wouldn't be interested in SMU?
No, I think they'd be interested in SMU.
They're in Dallas. They have infinite money. It's elite academically. It would open up a part of the country to you that otherwise is not in any way. It would be a bridge for Nebraska into that part of the country a little bit, in that they would play. To me, you line up with SMU kind of academically. I mean, SMU's a smaller school, obviously, but why wouldn't it be Miami, SMU? I suppose it would still be North Carolina because of the academics. And then is it
Virginia,
are we sure
maybe?
It's Florida State and Clemson?
No.
By the time this happens in 2028, I mean, SMU at that point could have 3 to 4 years of consistently being ranked in the top 25 and a couple of playoff bids. I don't know. I'm blind with love for the beloved ponies, and so it could just be I'm an idiot. But to me, if I'm looking at, I think SMU checks a lot of boxes.
And despite the rivalry, I don't think Duke goes anywhere without North Carolina and vice versa.
I agree.
That feels like the most packaged deal of these schools. And the precedent for the Big Ten's there to go to a region of the country you've never traditionally been in and say, now this is the Big Ten footprint. So Dallas and SMU, I think, makes all the sense in the world. And I would hope that if there is conference realignment, that maybe teams in the Big Ten can be dismissed. I know they're never going to leave the money on the table because the money is so much better in the Big Ten. So Rutgers, Maryland, they're not going anywhere. They should. No. But back to this list that was created by ACC writers at USA Today. Their preseason predicted order of finish in the Atlantic Coast Conference has Louisville at 3, Clemson at 4, Virginia Tech at 5. Higher or lower for James Franklin's bunch?
Higher. I think he brought a lot of good players with him. I think he's a really good coach. He's not a win-it-all coach, but he's really good. And so I think they will finish in the top 4 of this league. I go up on Virginia Tech, definitely higher.
I'd say that's probably about right for me. I think Virginia right behind them. Virginia's been really solid the past couple years. Pitt a couple down from them is probably going to be in that same mix. I'd say Virginia Tech probably is finishing around 5th in this. I think James Franklin's a good coach, but I think they're probably still about a year or maybe 2 away from surmounting the top of the ACC. But it feels like they're going to be right in the mix.
At 6, Virginia. 7, Georgia Tech. Isaiah mentioned Pittsburgh. The Panthers are 8. At 9, Florida State. Higher or lower for the Noles there? It's the middle of the conference.
Buddy, we added a new category like conference sliding doors moment. There's a sliding doors moment for Florida State. If Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt and they make the national championship playoff the year that him and the backup got hurt and they were undefeated, and maybe Mike Norvell, by God, he could have won a national title, maybe. They were undefeated. And now, if they finish 9, I see no scenario how he could be back at Florida State. And then what? What a mess on their hands. So to me, this seems appropriately ranked. And then I think it's going to be another change at the top at Florida State. But this would be a death knell for them.
Yeah, Mike Norvell is hoping that we say higher, but I think they're either appropriately ranked or even drop a couple, because when I look at their schedule, they have all the big boys. They've got SMU. Out of conference, they play Alabama. They've got Virginia, Louisville, Miami, Clemson, Pittsburgh, and then finish the year with Florida. This looks like a rough year for Florida State coming back after last season, which was a rough year again.
So Noles at 9. At 10, North Carolina State. At 11, California. Remember, they're in the ACC. At 12, Duke. At 13, Wake Forest. At 14, North Carolina.
Oh, my God.
Higher or lower for the Tar Heels there?
Okay. We've had a stretch this summer where we've gotten some things wrong. Let's beat our chest a little bit on this one. When Mike Lombardi was going on all the NFL and all the NFL lackeys were talking about Bill Belichick's going to bring an NFL approach to North Carolina. He's going to treat them like pros. And we all said, well, yeah, that's been happening for a long time at a lot of places. They were so naive to it. They were every bit as naive, and I think Urban would even admit he was naive to going to the NFL. Belichick and his cronies were just as naive of what college football was when they took this. If they are 14th in the ACC, then obviously he's fired. They are going nowhere quick. That is the brand that I think both the SEC and the Big Ten would want the most out of this league. But holy smokes, man. 14th in the league in year 2 with Belichick.
Unbelievable. If they finish there, after last season, after the TCU game, it felt like a failure almost immediately. Yeah. Coming back in this year, if they can't finish higher than 14th, this should be his last season there. If he's doing this again. Yeah. Why are we still doing this? I was looking at their transfer portal. They lost nearly 40 players through the transfer portal. They're one of the youngest teams in the entire conference. I think it looks like they're lining up pretty much the exact same way they were last year, which was absolute trash. They have Notre Dame week 4, Clemson, Miami, Louisville. This looks brutal for Belichick again.
So at 15, Syracuse, 16, Stanford, 17, Boston College.
I was going to ask you, where's Stanford? Andrew Luck's in year 2 as the general manager there. Man.
Isn't Ron Rivera the GM at California?
He is. Yeah, they signed, they hired Tosh Lupoy, who was he was the guy at Georgia, who then Lanning brought with him to Oregon. They hired him to be the head coach, and they're spending a little bit. So, but those two are just, to me, guys, there's no path forward for California and Stanford in the ACC. There's just nothing. I think they'd almost be better off going back to the remnants of the Pac-12 and playing in that league than trying to, financially, Stanford obviously will be fine. I have no idea how the University of California's athletic department is going to continue to afford to travel every single weekend for every sport. And they got 100 sports. So it's just not a model that's at all something that is sustainable. We'll get a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather.
Wow, it is a scorcher out there today.
With a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
When it's too hot to go out, it's definitely too hot for your AC to go out. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Pros are here to help. We offer fast repair and AC replacement for any cooling system when you need it. Plus, we're a premier Lennox dealer and can install an energy-efficient system for a great price. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit us online at thewaterworks.com. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Before the lights go down, before the first chord hits, start your night the right way with Jameson Irish Whiskey at the ultimate pre-concert party. Join us at the Owan Lane for ice-cold drinks, great vibes, and the smooth taste of Jameson flowing all night long. Grab your crew, raise a glass, and get concert ready with Jameson specials, music, and the kind of energy that only happens before the show. Jameson at the Owan Lane, where the night really begins. Drink responsibly. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025. Imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc?
We need to talk about the lights.
Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes.
A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes.
You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Bank of America, we support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge. What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
T-Bone and Tybus is sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
What kind of steak? I got a New York strip, 14 ounce. Can you put away 14 ounces of steak in one sitting? What are you? Who are you talking to? Yes, I did.
Mornings on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a first Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so we talked about the 17-team ACC in the last segment. They're doing their media days today through Friday in Charlotte. The one thing from this morning's session is a change to their conference championship tiebreaker policy. From the ACC, head-to-head matchups will remain the top tiebreaker, but the third tiebreaker will be settled by which team ranks highest in the team's success ranking by Sport Source Analytics, which is one of the metrics used by the College Football Playoff Committee. Of course, last year, I don't even want to say you remember, because nobody remembers with the ACC really, but the league needed its seventh tiebreaker to settle a five-way tie for second place in the conference standings at 6-2. Miami, which later reached the national championship game, was excluded from the title game in favor of Virginia and Duke. Miami was ranked 12th in the penultimate CFP rankings. They moved up to 10th after being idle championship weekend. Hurricanes had trailed the Irish. This was the big scuttlebutt. The Hurricanes trailed the Irish in every CFP poll but the last one. Duke did not qualify for the field after they finished below Sunbelt champion James Madison. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's all a thing. And the one thing that we've learned, and we learned this all the way back in 2014, that last poll, the last ranking is truly the only one, and they can do whatever they want at the end because it's a completely subjective process. The reason I chuckled when you were reading this is, what if there was a way to have a non-bias way of determining who the 12 best teams in the country is? What if there was a theorem that you could put together of some human elements, some coaching elements, some strength of schedule, some this? And what if we called it the BCS? Wouldn't that work?
Oh, we love an acronym.
We love it. So it's funny that they're basically adding a component that already existed to try to determine this, because as much as everybody complained about it, I think if you go back and you think about the complaining about the BCS, and heck, Dan Wetzel wrote a book called Death to the BCS. One of the things that most people complained about that was, well, you're only determining the two. But nobody complained about 1 through 12 now. Like, that was one that I think would actually work at a purpose very well. So I chuckle because they're basically reverse engineering all of this stuff.
And it makes me laugh because when they added the additional teams to the ACC, we're now at 17 teams, which means there's about 10 more teams that could possibly tie, because now you're not playing everybody. We're all tying across the board. So I'm glad that the ACC realized that everybody just wants a conference championship that's decided by usually the play on the field, not like a spreadsheet scavenger hunt where you're trying to figure out the home winning percentage of your opponents to figure out who's going to be in the college football playoff.
Yep.
This is an easy way for them to say, hey, if you're ranked higher by the committee, you probably should just be in anyway. Let's not have some weird team that's going to get in because they have a better win percentage at home rather than actually the games on the field, which almost happened last year. Thankfully, they pretty much got the right team in. It was Miami that ended up getting in. I forget who was the other one that was in contention. Was it Louisville?
Well, it was Notre Dame. Or you mean into the conference championship game?
The ACC title tilt.
Yeah, the ACC title game. I was between, I think Pittsburgh was in the mix at the end, and they were like barely even ranked. I can't remember what the top three teams were. Maybe it was Virginia, I think, that was on the edge too. But they were in a really weird spot where there was about 4 teams in the final.
4 teams were 6-2.
Yes.
Duke, Pittsburgh, SMU, VU, Virginia 7-1.
Yeah. So thankfully they got this right. Tiebreakers, no good.
Appearing on WDAE in Tampa, the sage of Tampa Bay sports, Ira Kaufman, said John Gruden will handle play-by-play duties for an NFL preseason game in about a month. Kaufman did not offer any further details as to the date, the teams, or whether it'll be a full game or part of a game, but I think you can connect the dots there. On a recent episode of the Ira Kaufman podcast, Gruden said, quote, I want to be play-by-play. You know, Frank Gifford, he transitioned into the play-by-play role. I would like to transition. I had 9 years of watching these guys like Mike Tirico, and I'd like to give that a shot, man. End quote. The assignment comes at a time when Gruden has an active civil litigation against the NFL and Roger Goodell over the events that led to Gruden's forced resignation from the Raiders back in 2021. Thing or not a thing?
So, number one, anytime you mention Ira Kaufman, all I can hear is Christopher Mad Dog Russo going, Ira, because that's the guy he always talks to. He's his NFL guy all of the time. So I just can hear Mad Dog saying that in my head. And then the next thing I would say on this that's interesting is who's the team that he's getting to do this with? Do we assume it's Tampa Bay?
Is one of the teams.
They're going to let him do play-by-play of a preseason game because that's pretty interesting. And that he, as you mentioned here in the piece at the end here, he is actively suing the National Football League currently. I think he could probably do it if you did it in the tradition, in the way of, you got to remember when Frank Gifford was doing the play-by-play on Monday Night Football all those years ago for the kids. They basically treated it the way that the McAfee cast is, where he was doing the play-by-play, but then also you had Howard Cosell and Danny Don Meredith, and they were kind of all talking in concert in a way. So I think he could do it. He's a smart dude. I'm sure he could do it. I also love that the end of this is I'd like to give that a shot, man. I mean, that is like straight out.
You can hear him
Caliendo.
saying it.
I can hear Caliendo saying it.
Just real quick, Isaiah, the Buccaneers preseason schedule shapes out like on August 14th. They're at the New York Jets. On August 22nd, they're hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. And then on August 28th, they're at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I've got mixed feelings about this. I feel like this is the perfect thing for a preseason game because preseason games are what they are. It's like an all-star game. It is what it is. We're all excited about the third one. We're like, okay, we're ready for real football now. So maybe Gruden can make that more exciting. And we have seen the alternate broadcasts. They're all trying them. They're trying to figure out, if they can have the next one. Does Gruden doing legit play-by-play doesn't sound super appealing to me, but I think that he could do kind of like an alternate version. We have a lot of really polished play-by-play guys that do a really great job. It screams color for me more than actual play-by-play, but if they did something weird, I think he could be entertaining because I do like Gruden, and he is entertaining.
Feels like a way that if they want to generate some interest in a preseason game, the NFL might acquiesce.
Yeah,
because it's just a way to get eyeballs on a product that people do put eyeballs on, but not in the way that you would probably want. But the 3 preseason games, any of those 3 would be interesting to hear Gruden on doing play-by-play. It would be a train wreck at first. ESPN's Dave McMenamin reported Tuesday from Vegas that the Philadelphia 76ers have kept up their pursuit of 4-time NBA champion LeBron James through 3 of their players. Dave says Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown have all been in communication with LeBron. Maxey's leading the charge. The 25-year-old Tyrese Maxey is a fellow Clutch Sports client who's also trained with LeBron in the offseason for the past several years, and he's referred to James as a big brother in the past. Thing or not a thing?
I suppose it's a thing. It does seem like Philly is somehow involved in this. I said this earlier in the show. I just don't see him learning something new in Philly, like new lifestyle, new organization, all of it. I don't know how serious they are. Do you think Philly should be interested? Like, how would this even fit? I mean, they got VJ Edgecombe, they got Maxey, they got Jaylen Brown and Embiid. Like, would they even want LeBron? Like, if you were their GM, wouldn't you want those young guys to kind of all play together and have a 2 or 3 year window rather than paratrooping LeBron into the middle of it?
That's a great question. Because they already have Edgecombe, Maxey, and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown averaged like 30 points a game last year. Like, are you really bringing in LeBron to be your fourth option?
Well, and he's not a court spacer either. So, like, I don't basketball wise, this one I don't understand at all.
It feels like you're trying to make the superstar team, adding LeBron to it, which I understand it. And the 76ers roster is good this season. But at the same time, I just don't think it makes sense for the 76ers, as Bo stated, or LeBron. If you're going to the 76ers, it's to win the finals. If you don't do that, then 5 years from now we'll say, why did he go to Philly? It makes no sense.
100%. Yeah. No, that one makes no sense to me at all. Final hour of the program coming up next. 20 most interesting programs heads to Norman. Boomer Sooner we go. They were in the playoff last year. Can they get there again with year 2 with Johnny Mateer? We get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of...
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
The Honda Summer Event is on at Lindsay Honda. Get red-hot deals on every new Honda. Save on a new 2026 Honda Civic CVT with 0% for 48 months or 0% for up to 48 months on all new 2026 Honda models, including the 2026 HR-V LX. Get ready for summer adventure in your new Honda. Enjoy the Lindsay Honda difference.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
Visit LindsayHonda.com for details.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
It's Leslie again from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we've kind of got a big announcement. We're doing a special sale right now where qualifying installs are 40% off.
Well, we're doing that at the other window place too.
Ah, that's an interesting coin.
April Fools.
April Fool's Day was a while back, Wilson.
Leslie, it's April 1st somewhere.
Is it?
Agree and disagree.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Common Man and Bob Capace here. So, Bob, you got this ring builder thing on your website.
Yep, you pick the diamond, the setting, customize your own engagement ring before you even come in this store.
I actually tried it.
You did?
It was ridiculously easy.
See, if Common Man can build a perfect ring online,
anybody can, because I'm dumb.
Then book an appointment and we'll help make it exactly the way you designed it.
That's why I always tell people, I know a guy. You too can design your own engagement ring with the ring builder at WorthingtonJewelers.com. If I can do it, anyone can.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
The sun is out and it's time to cruise into savings. CME Federal Credit Union wants to try to beat your current loan rate by 2% on autos and toys. Plus, enjoy no payments for 60 days. With car rates as low as 4.99% APR and toy rates starting at 6.5% APR, it's the perfect time to save. Apply today at CMEFCU.org. Terms apply. Minimum floor rates 4.99% APR cars, 6.50% APR other vehicles. Federally insured by NCUA.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Columbus Blue Jackets have a home opener set for their upcoming campaign. CBJ will host the Buffalo Sabres Thursday, October 1st. Jackets have 84 games on the slate this season. The other 83 will be announced Thursday at 1 o'clock. In other news, the Detroit Red Wings have their legend, their GM, Steve Yzerman, stepping away from that role and taking a senior advisor role in the front office. The news comes in the wake of Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin requesting a trade in part because of a reported rift with Stevie Y. He's been the GM there since 2019. In soccer this afternoon, England battles Argentina in the World Cup semifinal. Kickoff from Mercedes-Benz Stadium's 3 o'clock. Winner gets Spain in Sunday's final at MetLife. Loser goes to Miami to take on France in the consolation game Saturday. Baseball's regular season resumes Friday. Cleveland hosts Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's at Colorado. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. 20 most interesting programs. It's the other side of the Red River Shootout. It is Boomer. It is Sooner. Hit it, guys.
We'll expand conferences. We'll expand the playoffs, but we'll never, ever expand our interests. Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs.
And Boomer Sooner, we go. Oklahoma, 10-3 a year ago, 6-2 in SEC play. Remember, they had that incredible November that saved their season. They lost 2 out of 3 to Texas and Red River, beat South Carolina, then lost to Ole Miss at home, and were in a bit of a free fall. And then they beat number 14 Tennessee 33-27. They won in Tuscaloosa 23-21. They beat number 22 Missouri 17-6. They survived LSU 17-13. And lo and behold, they found themselves in the playoffs where they were beaten at home by Alabama 34-24 in the return side of that trip. Johnny Mateer returns at quarterback. They got plenty of other talent too. They went into the portal at the wide receiver position in a big way. They took Arch Manning's roommate at Texas, Parker Livingstone. He goes to Oklahoma. He transfers in. Trell Harris comes in from Virginia as well after a season that netted him nearly 1,000 yards on the season a year ago. In terms of recruiting in 2026, they finished 16th in the country. That's a little bit down for them, certainly from their heyday with Bob Stoops. They were 6th in the transfer portal. Their ranking for 2026, was 17th in the portal, 6th in 2027 in recruiting. Brent Venables is entering his 5th year in Norman. He does so without a postseason win. His seasons there so far have been yo-yos, down, up, down, up. So he goes 6-7 in year one, really struggles in year one, 10-3 in year two, and kind of restores a little bit of confidence with Dylan Gabriel. Then 6-7 in 2024. 10-3 last year. Johnny Mateer, they struck gold with him. There was a time, Reese, and I remember this vividly from a year ago when we were talking. We would do our college football weekend wrap-ups on a Tuesday, and you'd look at this and go, man, Johnny Mateer might be in position to win the Heisman. If you remember how he started the year, he had that win at Michigan, 21-34, 270, a touchdown and a pick. Had another win against Auburn where he was 24-36 for 271, a touchdown and no picks. He had some big scrambles as well. He had 5 touchdowns rushing in the first month of the season, including 2 in the Michigan game. Had another one in the Auburn game. Then he got hurt. And when he got hurt, it felt like he rushed it back and fell on his face in a big way in the Texas game, threw 3 picks in that game. I really was curious how Oklahoma, more than Texas, would take the move to the SEC. And I remember even talking to Jake Trotter about this, and there was a little concern that Oklahoma would kind of go the way of Nebraska when they moved to the SEC. So far, they haven't. So far, they've been okay in the portal. After a 6-7 year in year one, they bounced back in a big way last year. I'll be honest with you, though, if you have to pick a candidate of the ones we've done to this point, and we did Texas Tech, we've done Texas, and now Oklahoma, this to me feels like this is all on Mateer. If Mateer can find what he found early in the season last year, this can be a team of consequence. If not, this could be a little bit of a struggle bus for the Boomer Sooners.
7th nationally on defense last year. It does feel like for Brent Venables, he wants all of the games to be 17-6 or 17-13. Yeah. I don't know if that works, especially for them this season coming up, which to your point means that Johnny Mateer's got to be great. So they went out and they tried to retool different spots on the offense, and they got 3 new tight ends that they're going to try to run out there. They steal Arch Manning's roommate, and this for Oklahoma, what they want to do is things were rolling up until Red River. Mm-hmm. And so they got to keep rolling through that, because now I think about it, I don't know if they don't have to beat Texas this year, but boy, things get a lot harder for Venables next season if they're unable to.
If they want to make the playoff,
they have to.
They have to. I'm looking at their schedule right now. They have Michigan early.
Yeah,
they handled them last
Isaiah.
year. They have Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M.
Because this would be a 3rd straight loss in that rivalry, and then down the back stretch of the season, it can't just be we'll find our way. You ain't finding your way through that. You need to have an identity offensively. When the playoff expands, if Venables is still there, he's in a great spot because they'll constantly make the thing. But in this right now 12-teamer, that September 26th matchup against Georgia looms.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, they got 6 new starters on defense, but it's a lot of familiar faces. They don't have a lot of portal guys who are projected to start. It's guys who they've coached up and elevated. So I think defensively they should kind of be in the mix. I think the thing that's interesting with Oklahoma is the schedule. To your guys' point, I do think in Ann Arbor becomes kind of a must-win if you want to repeat and get back to a playoff. I think you got to beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. That's in week 2 is when that game is. That's big noon on September 12th. Then it's New Mexico. Then it's at Georgia, Red River, Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Florida. You can go on a little bit of a run there. Then it's Ole Miss, which will be difficult, Texas A&M, which will be difficult, and then at Missouri to close out the season for Oklahoma. You have your brother lived down there, Reese, and you had that spectacular hoodie that you have with the Sooner Schooner on it. What I'm curious about Oklahoma is, what do the next 5 to 10 years look like at Oklahoma? Like, did they have the punching power financially to continue to hang at the top of the SEC? Because, again, it's a yo-yo so far. One season up, one season down. That's what he's done in 4 years. Down, up, down, up. Can he maintain? Because here's the other thing about, and we just did Texas yesterday. Oklahoma, like, fan base, to me, feels more aligned with Ohio State than Texas does. I think Oklahoma is much more desperate to win at the higher level than Texas is. I think Texas is kind of like, if we win, great, but they don't have it. It's not like an Alabama fire, a Texas fire, like we have to win championships. I think Oklahoma more aligns with Ohio State than Texas does in that sense.
In terms of the booster enthusiasm, it's a lot like what you got at Georgia and Alabama. And there is money, but they've got to cobble it together more so than an A&M and an LSU. So I think from that standpoint, they're still, I think reeling is a good word from Lincoln Riley. Just not even emptying his office and just leaving. And so I think what they've got with Venables, they're in a good place, but in the next 5 years, they must make an SEC championship game.
And I feel like they're kind of in a dangerous spot in the next 5 years.
It's teetering, right?
For the expectations that their fan base has, the SEC is tough. That was a tough move for them to come across. If they were still in the Big 12 right now, they would be an auto bid every year. But moving to the SEC kind of put them in a really vulnerable place that I don't know if their fan base is going to be happy with in the next 6 seasons unless the playoff expands. And even if it does expand to 16, I mean, are they a top 5 book it every year team in the SEC? I don't know.
That's just going to come down to finances. Like, do they have the oil money required to hang with A&M, hang with Texas, hang with Georgia, Tennessee, the schools that are spending in the SEC at the highest level? Can Oklahoma, LSU, can they hang there? Because I promise you, like, Oklahoma has the history. They've got the Heismans, they've got the national championships, they've got all of it. And there is a demand that I would assume that there's a pretty big demand that they stay there. And I think that they probably look at one of their most hated rivals historically and what's happened at Nebraska and said, well, we can't let that happen. So I think they're well aware that could happen if you miss on a couple of things. So I think this is a massive year for them. And I could see this going south in a lot of ways, but I think defensively they'll be fine. It just comes down to Mateer. If he can play the way he played the first month of the season, then they can beat anybody. But when you look at their schedule a year ago, they were very lucky to survive November. They had 4 one-score games that they survived. And if you lost one of them, you would have been cooked. So the margin for them is very, very thin. Well, we'll hit the categories on Boomer sooner. We'll play that spectacular fight song that they have. In addition to that, a couple of new categories we're throwing in. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Fox Tonight. Ice-T, Carmen Electra, Steve-O, Matt Liner, and many more will get schooled.
Idiot.
On the new show,
Nation's Dumbest.
After the return of
MasterChef Global Gauntlet.
Starting at 8, only on Fox 28.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has earned the trust of homeowners by putting customers first and giving back to the communities we serve. From roofing and siding to gutters, every project gets the white glove treatment. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Summer doesn't start until you've had UDF peach ice cream, made with hand-picked peaches at our dairy right here in Ohio. So have a peach sundae, a peach shake, a peachy cobbler ice cream quake, and start your summer now, only at United Dairy Farmers. Peach season is here at UDF, but it won't last long. Right now, buy 2 large cartons of UDF peach ice cream for just $10. You're gonna want to stock up. Peach ice cream is back at United Dairy Farmers for a limited time.
Join us for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, July 24th and 25th. We guarantee the best price year-round, and Wedding Weekend adds an advantage you won't find anywhere else. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing up to 30% off for 1 weekend only. Visit Diamond Seller, July 24th and 25th.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kandula, founder of Advent. We know that when you breathe well, you live better. Just ask our patient Andy.
As long as I can remember, I've had issues breathing through my nose. Since starting this journey and having this procedure done, day-to-day life has just gotten better. I'm able to do all the things that I want to do without having to think about breathing. I breathe through my nose. I sleep through the night. I don't wake up with headaches.
Advent can deliver long-term results in about 20 minutes with simple in-office procedures. We diagnose and treat the root cause of nasal congestion, sinus pressure, sleep apnea, snoring, and allergies. 96% of patients with severe nasal breathing issues report improvement, and most major insurance plans are accepted.
Best advice I can give anybody that has sinus, sleep issues, just get it checked out. Go in and have someone take a look at it. It's 100% worth it.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on new 2026 Tucsons and Santa Fe's. Plus, make no payment for 90 days. Columbus or Dublin or GLexHyundai.com. With True Credit, not all will qualify. End date free.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by The Waterworks.
Daily on the Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Heat advisory is in place for the afternoon hours as we have a top heat index right around 100. Otherwise, plan for actual highs in the mid-90s under a mostly sunny and hazy sky. Mid-70s for a low tonight, so another warm one. And for Thursday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Hazy skies continue from that high-level wildfire smoke with highs once more in the mid-90s. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time to hit the categories on the Oklahoma Sooners. Here are the words to this song. Boomer Sooner, 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 OKU, Oklahoma, 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 OKU. I'm Sooner born, Sooner bred, and when I die, I'll be Sooner dead. Raw Oklahoma, Raw Oklahoma, Raw Oklahoma, OKU. Fantastic.
It's easy enough.
You learned that. You learned that quick, man. 2-year-old, you got it down.
Yeah.
College football adaptability grade for Boomer Sooner, Reese.
I guess I'll give him a B. B minus, I think, is the proper range for it. Like, this is a team where they've, under Venables, over the past couple of seasons, gotten better recruiting. Mm-hmm. And if you're being elevated in recruiting rankings, it means you're kind of understanding the assignment.
I had them down for a B as well. It feels like their transition to the SEC has been okay. I mean, the first season they kind of struggled going 6-7, but being able to turn it around last year, and they had a gauntlet of a schedule too. That could have easily been another 6-7 season. Mateer comes out of the gates playing really well, gets banged up a little bit, but they're able to finish strong. I think they have the brand. They've got good facilities. I mean, they have the money. I mean, they can make it work. I'd give them a B. It's been solid so far.
Yeah, I think that's above average. Certainly above average. They're fine. They're not all the way there, but that could be a little bit with Venables. I'm still curious on if that is a long-term fit there or not, but I think B's the right answer there. Uniform brand grade for the Sooners, Reese.
I give them an A with their traditionals. They've got the cream that they sometimes use that they should not use. Everything else works.
I had them down as a B+. They feel similar to Texas for me, but just not as much fun. I love the Texas traditionals, but for Oklahoma, I think it's just okay. I think it's a B+. I think it's solid, but that's as far as I can go.
I'd probably B too. while acknowledge it just might not work. I just don't love the color scheme, especially juxtaposed. I always compare them to Texas. Sometimes it's hard to even tell the difference when you see them uniform-wise. Like when they played Bama twice, they just kind of look exactly the same, the two of them. So, and there's a lot of those color teams in that league. So I think it's a B. It's not as cool as Texas, but it's probably a little bit close. All right, rather than coolest to ever play there, you can add one historical player from Oklahoma to their current roster. Who would you add? One historical Sooner to their roster currently. Who would you add?
Adrian Peterson feels like the obvious choice, but maybe too obvious. So I'm going to go with Marquise Brown or CeeDee Lamb.
I like CeeDee Lamb a lot.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb is
If they had a wide receiver like that, an absolute number one, then yeah, this team's a legitimate playoff and SEC championship contender, in my opinion.
I forgot about CeeDee Lamb. That's a fantastic pick.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking off the rip, obviously, Adrian Peterson. When I thought about defense, if they were going to go anywhere, because in the NIL era, he would have been fantastic.
He would
and
not
it's the
work.
Boz.
He would not work with Brent Venables.
The Boz would have been epic.
Chance that works.
The Boz would have been epic. He would have, and he was a stud. Before he got hurt, he was a total stud. I'll go with. I think all of those make sense. Like Adrian Peterson was initially what I thought, and then I thought longer. I thought CeeDee Lamb. But since you went there, I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to go Leroy Selman. Leroy Selman's the best defensive player, among the greatest defensive players in the history of college football. It's a way-back machine one. But if he was playing D-end at Oklahoma, that's a big, big attention getter on that defense if he was to be in the mix on that thing. All right, would they get an official visit from Vince Howard at Oklahoma? We've been in his wheelhouse. All of these programs are in his wheelhouse.
He would. I think he would. I think they would be in on him. I think they'd say, look what we've done with running backs in the past.
Well, he's a quarterback, Reese.
A quarterback, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think it would be in a B grade, though, because I don't know if he'd be, like, jumping at the chance.
I was in the same spot. I think geographically he gets one. He's that's in the area. We're close enough. And obviously the quarterback history, they've got some of the best. But unfortunately for Brent Venables, he wasn't the one that really led the way on that. But I would say he gets the visit. Does he go there? Probably not.
I think if Lincoln Riley were still the coach at Oklahoma, he maybe ends up there. I think it's that type of a spot for him. I think it's very similar to the Texas one, except if Lincoln were there, that would have been even better than Texas, because Lincoln said, you come here, you win the Heisman. So to me, if Lincoln Riley were there, or if early Stoops were there, this feels like absolutely a place Vince Howard would have ended up. I think under Venables, it's a much, much more difficult sell. So I think, would they get an official visit? Probably. My guess is as they were in the middle of the official visit, Vince Howard would be getting texts from other coaches saying this ain't nearly as cool as Austin or somewhere else on it. So I think that would be it. Fish chiming in that Billy Sims was unreal. Yeah, he was. They had a lot, man. Their program it's more aligned. I mean, I know that we always do like the Texas-Ohio State thing, but it's really Oklahoma. Oklahoma's really closer to historically what Ohio State is. So I think it's really more that, even though we probably have more similarities to the University of Texas. Coach grade for Brent Venables. What do you got, Reese?
I'd give him a C+, slightly above average. I expect, I don't know, expectations should be too much for Venables. I mean, the guy to me felt like just the ultimate. He's a great coordinator, a great ball knower, but can he do the whole coaching thing? Can he be that CEO?
Mm-hmm.
Jury's still out.
I had him down as a C. I originally wanted to go C-, but then I remembered they did make the playoff last year. They lost, but they made the playoff. But that was he hasn't won a postseason game yet. It's been 6-7, 10-3, 6-7, 10-3, and I know that he was in the midst of the transition to the SEC. But if you asked Oklahoma fans how they would do in the SEC prior to the transition, they would have said just as well as we've been doing. We would be winning 10, 11 games. And so I'm sure that they were not happy with the 6-win season after that. And it's not like he took over a dead program. Like it was Lincoln Riley before them. He didn't have to rebuild. He had to consistently keep up what they were doing before, which was 11 and 12 wins every year.
The only thing I would amend to that statement that you made at the end is Lincoln did take the quarterback. He did take the receiver with him. Like he did purge that roster with him to USC. I think when you consider, I mean, just imagine, if you will, and we could acknowledge that Oklahoma has a similar mindset to Ohio State. Just imagine if Ryan Day left Ohio State to go to Texas or USC. Imagine how shocking that would be here. In the fan base, even imagine like the board and the athletic director and the big money boosters, like, wait, what? And so when you consider that happened here and they had to pivot in a hurry, you could have done a whole lot worse. And so I think it's probably B- is where I'm going to go. I think he's done kind of a C job, but I think that it was in play for him to do an F job, and the program would have really been without a sail. But last year they rebounded. They get to 10-3. They stabilize. So I think he deserves some credit for that on that side of things. All right, which leads us to this. Biggest sliding doors moment in program history, Reese.
I think because my instantly in my head went to the 06 Fiesta Bowl on the Statue of Liberty with Boise State, but I think the year before that they get crushed by USC in the 05 Orange Bowl, that BCS National Championship game. And I wonder if because they've been around since, but they've never felt like the team. They've never felt like one of two teams that, yes, this team, like you haven't used in a sentence Oklahoma, Ohio State, or the field.
No. But you did in the early 2000s when Stoops was there, and they were getting Adrian Peterson, and yeah, they got really, I think, was it Florida who emasculated them in a national title game?
So it was USC.
And then didn't Florida get him too once?
Florida got him, but it wasn't 55-14.
USC whipped him 55-14.
55-19, excuse me. I don't want to short them 5 points.
For me on this one, it is the 2018 Rose Bowl. They played against Georgia. It goes to 58-48, double overtime game with Baker Mayfield. And then obviously Georgia goes on to win and then plays Alabama in the game against Tua. Ends up losing to them 26-23. But if they win that game, Lincoln Riley maybe hangs around longer because you're in a 50-50 toss-up for a national championship there. Maybe you can get Caleb Williams to stay a couple years later if Riley stays. I think that could have kept Riley at Oklahoma when he was really cooking, if they can just win that game and get to a national title game, which with Bake in them, and that was an incredible game with Nick Chubb, with Georgia, and Sony Michel. Oh, my gosh. A great one. But I think if they win that game, that could have flipped the doors for him.
He should have kept throwing. They tried to milk. They got ahead big in that game, and they tried to milk clock.
They were up 18 points in that one.
Yeah. That's probably the correct answer, because I was going to say the Lincoln Riley leaving is the sliding doors, because if he stays, Caleb Williams stays, the Heisman tradition probably continues at Oklahoma. Caleb ended up winning it at USC, probably would have won it at Oklahoma. All of that probably continues to happen. They did lose to Florida in that national title game, and that was in 2009 when Florida beat them 24-14. So they were in it quite a bit in the first decade of Stoops, and then Bake came in, and that was kind of their best chance to win another national title, I agree, was that season when they lost to Georgia in a game they honestly never should have lost. Win it all, make the playoff too soon, or flame out for Boomer sooner? What do you got, Reese?
I make the playoff. This team should always have that expectation. And this team, I think, is good enough. The schedule is daunting.
I don't think they make it. I think they're on the outside of this one. I look at the schedule against Michigan and Texas. I think Texas probably takes a step and maybe gets them again this year. I hope for Mateer. I really like Mateer. I think it'd be a great story for them to make it, but I do not see them getting back in. It looks like the SEC might just be a little bit too tough this year.
I think I'm going to go flame out with them, but I don't know that it's going to. I'm not saying they're going 6-6, but to me this team kind of screams 8-4. And on the outside looking into the playoff, I agree with you, Reese, that their expectation should be playoff with this roster and Mateer and all of it. I'm sure that's the way that they think. But from my vantage point, to me, this feels like a little bit of a flame out from what they were a year ago. John Hoover's going to know the answer to that question. He will join us in 2 minutes, covers the Sooners at SI, Locked on Sooners. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business. business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Thank you for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make room for possibilities.
We've loaded the moving van and we're leaving a ton of stuff at our old address. Can you make it disappear?
All you have to do is point.
Can you come right now?
We're on our way.
We make space for hope.
We make space for dreams.
We make space for what matters.
We are 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Let us make room for your possibilities.
We can make your house happier.
And your future brighter.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Efforting John Hoover covering the Sooners at SI and the Locked On Sooners podcast. This is happening. I don't know if you guys had this. I have this on my phone where now it does this live voicemail thing. So if it's like a number that isn't known, it immediately zips in there. So that could be a little bit what's happening with him. So we'll effort John. But yeah, I mean, you think about how strong the Southeastern Conference is in terms of this notion that they don't need to expand. You can certainly understand why they have that perspective. I mean, every time we have Paul on, we'll have him on tomorrow at 10:30. You look at the SEC conference and you go, well, where do they need to do it? And if they do add, is their money going to go up? Is there anybody out there that's going to increase their value in their current deal with ESPN? And in that league, yeah, they could take Miami. They could take North Carolina. I don't think that anything has changed in regard to Florida State or Clemson. I don't think South Carolina wants Clemson in the SEC, and I know that Florida doesn't want Florida State in the SEC. They'd rather both of those two programs just be completely neutered. So I don't think that's a fit, and I don't know that they need to go into another part of the country either. I think that they actually have a pretty damn good identity and a pretty damn good, strong brand. So I don't see expansion for the SEC.
Only to do it if the Big Ten's expanding to where and even then, because if you're expanding in the ACC teams, the ESPN go like, whoa, stop trying to cannibalize our other guy.
Yeah.
Or do they care much about the ACC? Texas and Oklahoma you had to have, but that's it?
Yeah, I think that is. And they got him, and both of them have appointed themselves quite well. So for perspective on the Sooners, we had on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, conversation with John Hoover, covers the Sooners at Sports Illustrated, and Locked On Sooners is the name of the podcast. 2 years in, how is it going for Oklahoma in the SEC?
It's going pretty good. Year two, I think they jumped up and surprised some people, especially in November last year. And got to the college football playoff. Who's seen that coming? You know, it was a kind of a shocking year in that they opened up and they beat Michigan, which we halfway expected. It was kind of a toss-up game, but then they went down to Texas again and got routed by the Longhorns. And the quarterback gets hurt. John Mateer, his first year, breaks his thumb. You're thinking, well, this one's going sideways.
Mm-hmm.
2 losses at midseason, and they go into November thinking, well, we've got it says we got like a 99.8% chance if we win out, we won't make the playoffs. But let's go ahead and try anyway. And they did it, and they went 4-0, and they beat 3 ranked teams down the stretch, and they made the playoff. And everybody's standing around going, "What the hell just happened?"
And I think because of that, because if you think about how desperate it was when Mateer goes down and then what happens in the Texas game, and you think about what happened for them in November, it's almost like the rest of it was gravy on top, I assume, from 30,000 feet up, John. That's what it would seem to me to be. How much credit do you give Venables, and how dicey was that spot for him coming out of that Texas loss? How important was November for him?
Yeah, well, and I think in 3 of his 4 games, they have not scored a touchdown against Texas. Yeah, that's bad. That's really, really bad. Including, I think there was a 49-0 in there. So when Dylan Gabriel was hurt, and they didn't actually have a backup quarterback, they just threw a bunch of guys out there, and nothing worked. It was crazy. So it got when they lost 23-6 last year to Texas, 2 field goals. And then a couple weeks later, I think it was Ole Miss. Ole Miss came into Norman as a top 10 team, and kind of knocked them around a little bit in the second half. I guess for the second year in a row, because they were leading in Oxford when I was down there in 24, and Ole Miss kind of just scored some points and pulled away, and Mateer wasn't very good, and they go into and people are coming out of that game saying, okay, I think the Venables thing has run its course. A lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people in this fan base, certainly a lot of the media around here, were saying it looks like Venables has kind of run its course. They better start looking for another plan. And, they go to Tennessee, number 14 in the country. They go to Alabama, number 4 in the nation. They go to number 22, Missouri. And they won all 3 of those games. And then, Mateer makes a couple of plays late in the LSU game at home. And, the kid's got a broken thumb, which I can't imagine playing college football, playing quarterback, Division I SEC football with a broken thumb. And he throws a couple of touchdown passes, and they win. And it's like, wait, I don't understand. Venables comes out of that thing smelling like a rose. Like, this is 2 years in a row I've had a championship-type defense. We finally got a healthy quarterback. I'm showing you guys what I can do. He's kind of feeling himself right now in this fan base.
That's it, and that's how quickly all of this can change, right? We dealt with this with Ryan in 2024 when they lose the Michigan game, and it's like, my God, are they going to have to do something here? And then Ryan goes, hold my beer, we're going to win the whole damn thing, and then that changes everything. And so then you get momentum and with it. And I suppose so that's the next thing with this Oklahoma thing. You got Mateer for another year. You were active in the portal at the wide receiver position. You get Arch Manning's roommate to come up, for crying out loud. Defensively, it's going to be a Venables defense. It looks like it's going to fulfill a lot of these spots from within. Just what is kind of your view of the makeup of this Oklahoma team with the momentum that they had to finish last year? Will it carry on into this season?
Yeah, that's a big question because if you look at the entirety of Brett's career as a head coach, he's got 2 6 and 7s, and 2 nice seasons. And it's been alternating. I hate to say it. It's been a pattern. So every other year they go 6 and 7, right? Or do you look at 2026 as, okay, 2025 they turn the corner, they're getting away from that pattern, and now they're going to really take off and be the championship Bob Stoops type program that's consistent every year. And that's something that I think a lot of people are kind of waiting around to see. There's approaching it a little bit with caution, I think. I think that's fair. I think that's pragmatic. But the reason to be optimistic is this. Their offense was bad last year. You got a quarterback that broke his thumb, transferred from Washington State. You've got an offensive line that's mix and match pretty much for the whole year, at least until the November thing started. You can't run the football. You don't have a superstar at running back, and you just got a bunch of kind of workaday guys. Your defense is good, but you've got no playmakers at wide receiver, and your tight ends are abysmal. That's what last year was at Oklahoma. This year they've addressed all those things, and assuming that Mateer is healthy for the entirety of the season, those running backs are all back. You got a couple of guys from the portal that maybe somebody makes a play. You got your whole offensive line back from that November run. Those guys are better. Those guys are bigger, stronger, faster, all that good stuff. And then you addressed your lack of playmaker needs behind Isaiah Satania in the transfer portal at wide receiver. And so now you look at the entirety of the defense does this. Okay, we're gonna take for granted that the Brent Venables defense is going to be good, but now look at his offense. He's got an experienced quarterback. He's got some playmakers. We think transfer portal. Who knows? At wide receiver, he's got all the offensive line back. He upgraded his tight ends, we think. Again, transfer portal, we'll see. But we think he upgraded his tight ends massively. And, now you're looking at the offense going, this could be a pretty decent offense. So there's reason for excitement. There's reason for optimism.
Yeah, there certainly is. Now the schedule, it's pretty brutal. The first month and a half is crazy. To be at Michigan in week 2, and then you're at Georgia at the end of September, and then of course Red River. Then it loosens up a little bit before it ends with Ole Miss, A&M, and Missouri, which my hunch is all those teams will be ranked by the time you get there. If you kind of look at this schedule from their vantage point, and you say, what's an ideal record coming out of Red River? Obviously, you'll say undefeated, but what is a reasonable thing? If for example, are they 4-1 out of Red River, and then you're locked in and you're ready to go? What's the minimum requirement coming out of Red River for you?
Okay, so what's the definition of reasonable? Reasonable, what the fans think is reasonable, or what the Las Vegas thinks is reasonable? I think that's two different things.
Yeah, I do a show in Columbus, Ohio, so we don't even know reasonable, buddy.
Exactly. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been to Columbus many times, so I know what you mean. Reasonable. Let's see. For me, honest to goodness, if you start 2-3 and lose those tough games, Texas, Georgia, and Michigan all on the road, or at least Texas is in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose all 3 of those and you come out of there 2-3, there's going to be Venables burning in effigy and trash thrown on his lawn like they do at Ampipe, all that stuff. But it's not unreasonable to say they're going to be 2-3 with that lineup of games. I think that's. I'm not predicting it. I think they could beat Michigan. I think Michigan might be in a little bit of a repair situation.
Mm-hmm.
New head coach, new administration, all that kind of stuff. There with the Wolverines. Texas, that game I've seen 24 or 25 of them row of those now. Been there to cover them, and I've seen bad Texas teams beat good OU teams, and I've seen bad OU teams lose to, or whatever, good OU teams lose to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a toss-up. It's a rivalry game. It's a neutral site. It's a toss-up. So they could win 2 of the 3 and still have an 8-4 record, or they could lose those 3, all 3 of them, and still have a 9-3 record.
Yeah.
So I honestly think this team could go 9-3. That's kind of the high mark, with all 3 of those losses being in October and September. That's how front-loaded this schedule is. But at the same time, they could come out of their they could come out of the second half or the first half of the season 5-1 and still finish 8-4 overall.
And that is exactly why, other than the history and the pageantry and all of it, why they're one of our 20 most interesting, because there's a ton of what-ifs on this schedule for Oklahoma and the Johnny Mateer and a part of it and the way he plays. Because I thought last year, the first month of the season, John, he was in the mix for the Heisman, so I was there. I'll get you out of here. Got about 30 seconds. What is in your head, you get to the end of November, what is Oklahoma football in 2026?
Record-wise, they're probably 9-3. I'm going to say. I think that's probably as well as they can do. And let's assume again, the offensive line, 4 guys back. They pick a running back at some point. Those transfer guys from the tight end and receiver are both functional, unlike last year at those positions. And Mateer stays healthy. I say 9-3 upside, really, really high upside, 10-2.
Going to be a fun one down there, buddy. Always is. Thank you so much for time. Greatly appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
All right, there he goes. John Hoover covers the Sooners for SI and Locked On Sooners. He even got an Ampipe reference in, which is not lost on me. That's a good job out of him. We'll get you officially endorsed in 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance from Progressive Insurance.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Right now, buy 4 windows, get 4 free in 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Most Direct.
Hey, this is D. Miller. Declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with the free T test. Stay on the treatment for 90 days and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. Book your free T test at fixedbylowt.com.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Bring bold flavor to every cookout with Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
It's 2026, the year you achieve your health goals. The Good Feet store wants to help. Trade in your bad feet for good feet. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
At Wright Pat Credit Union, we don't bury our fine print. We celebrate it. So while other banks hide behind phrases like,
rates subject to lunar cycles, promotion expires tomorrow,
our fine print is more.
Profits will be returned to you via better rates, fewer fees, and annual member dividends when we can.
Because, we're not trying to pull a fast one. We just want to advocate for you, protect your interests, and treat your financial life with the respect it deserves. Wright Pat Credit Union. Banking done right. Federally insured by NCUA.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Buckeye football fall camp is coming. Will Julian Sayin take his game to the next level? Will Matt Patricia's defense dominate again? Join us live for training camp fun starting Thursday, August 6th. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have in the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, who's on the hottest seat in college football? Your options are Luke Fickell, Mike Norvell, Lincoln Riley, or someone else. 34% of respondents say Luke is, compared to Lincoln and then Mike Norvell. So Lincoln Riley's getting 31%, Mike Norvell at Florida State 29%, 4% someone else.
I don't think Lincoln is under any pressure at all at USC. I think they're more than fine with what he's been doing, and he's doing it in recruiting, and it seems like they're kind of organized. I think Luke and Mike, I actually think Norvell is under more pressure than Luke. I think Luke's second. The one thing in talking to Hoff and others about this was it feels like Wisconsin, when Luke first got there, wasn't totally organized on how to do this, and it seems like now they are a little bit. So I think that they're going to give Luke a little bit more reign. I think if Norvell starts slow at Florida State, they'll pivot off of him halfway through the season because that's one less year on the buyout. So I think there's a ton of pressure on Norvell, and I don't see him surviving beyond this year because I think it's going to be a really tough season for them. All right, it's the First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
You drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good. Because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar. Because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
All right, this is an easy one. I'm headed to Big Sky Country on Sunday. I can assure you that this will be something that is enjoyed there, probably in the presence of my father. We will do a Miller High Life, and we will do it with a Pendleton back. So in some situations, you'll do like a High Life pony, like the little mini High Lifes. You're going to go a bottle of Miller High Life, and then you're going to go a shot of Pendleton back, and that is your officially endorsed. Nothing says Montana summer quite like that. There will be rodeo beers as well, which is the Yellow Jackets and the Yetis with the ice and the Ultra Lime. You're going to do that as well out there. But with Pops, it'll be a High Life with the Pendleton back. That's the way that's going to go. Time for 3 things on a First Friday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, number 1 for me. So we found out on the trip to Baltimore that Bootsy's iPad no longer carries a charge. Now, it's probably 6-7 years old, so this is probably an appropriate time. So my wife says, well, he needs to go get a new iPad. Certainly before we go to Montana, those long flights, he needs to have something to be entertained. I'm okay, fine. Go get the new iPad. So I'll do that under one condition. Up until this point, in the middle on the birthday of their 5th grade years when we've been getting the boys the phones. And so I said, I will pay for the new iPad under the condition that he does not get a phone for his birthday, which is in 4 months. We will do that. And so Bootsy, of course, is impetuous. Yeah, I'll do that. No problem, Dad. No problem. I'll do that. No problem. So then this morning, before they went to leave, I said, I need it in writing. And his face just dropped. So he went on the whiteboard and he had to write, I will not ask for an iPhone or a phone for my birthday. And then I had him sign it. And we took a picture of it. But I think he tried to write it sloppy so that it was not legible. I think that's what he's going for. There's 0 chance he lives up to this. 0 chance.
Yeah, but you got it in writing.
It's in writing. He's cooked now.
Incredible job out of him trying to make it as sloppy and unlegible as possible.
Because you probably can't really make it out, quite honestly.
Yeah, and then at that point, you look back to it and you go, I don't know what that says.
I don't know what that was, Dad.
I can't remember ever making a thing like that. Tonight at 5:30, gates of Ohio Stadium are going to open for AC/DC, and the Power Up Tour is coming to the Shoe. It's supposed to start at 7 o'clock, so if you're on 670, 315 sometime this afternoon, I would just plan your afternoon accordingly to not be there in and around Ohio Stadium. So thoughts to everybody working at Ohio State.
Is Brian Johnson still in the mix?
That's a very good question.
Because Angus Young is out. Like, who's in AC/DC now? Yeah, Brian Johnson's still in the mix.
Angus Young, Brian Johnson, Stevie Young.
They're all still in it? I thought Angus died.
No, it says he's still alive here.
Still active and ready? Okay.
Still rolling.
So that's about as good as you're going to get, man. Yeah, he's still in the mix.
7 o'clock, awesome. Though. I think the Pretty Reckless is going to be the opener. Look, I get shows that want to start at like 9 or 10 o'clock, but if it starts at 7, Pretty Reckless is off the stage. Start at 8, be done by 10.
Yep.
Get things cooking.
Yep.
Last night for me, I forgot to mention on the show yesterday. Bad job out of me, but birthday was yesterday. Did birthday dinner last night.
Well, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Did birthday dinner last night. And got a nice juicy steak. And I haven't had like a good steak from a steakhouse house. We went to the Avenue, not too far from my house, and got a little 14-ounce ribeye with a nice loaded baked potato on the side. It was a fantastic dinner, one of the best ones I've had in a while. So Had to give a good shout out to E. She surprised me with the dinner, so picked out a good spot for me. It was good.
Good, very good job out of her, and that is always undefeated. White tablecloth, ribeye, baked potato. That wins 10 out of 10 every single time. Number 2 for me. So now I can't eat lettuce. Is that where we're at? We've got, produce outbreaks with diarrhea. This is what we're doing for a while now. I got this. I got daylight savings time. Our pets' heads are falling off, Reese.
There's a container of mixed greens and spinach in my fridge, and I'm just going to throw it out.
I guess it's all bad. Is that what we're to believe?
Can't trust any of it. I think if trying to put a rosier spin on it. Christopher Nolan had to throw out 8 minutes of The Odyssey, or at least 8 minutes from his film. So that thing opens this weekend. 2 hours and 52 minutes? Come on, Chris. They had to shrink it under 3 hours because IMAX projectors cannot go longer than 3 hours.
It's like the Avatar movies.
It's just too much,
long.
guys.
I'm sure it's great, but that's a lot, man. 3 hours.
I'll wait till it comes out streaming. God, on my parents.
Coming up next, Rothman and Ice, they got a loaded show. 12:30, Adam Schefter joining. 1 o'clock, Bobby Carpenter. 1:30, they're talking college football with Brad Crawford. And then at 2:30, Adam King. Stick around and hang out with those guys.
Holy smokes, they are loaded up. No time for 3 today. Enjoy your first Friday. Act accordingly. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we